never get offered an oral appliance. Advent has decided to change the practice of medicine in this country by offering oral appliances to our patients. And what that means is we are allowing our patients to have the choice of a CPAP machine oral appliance when they have sleep apnea, and that's a big deal.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventNose.com.
Oh, I get it. You're good at dodging baseballs. Like this.
Throw back to third. It goes over the head of the third baseman Davis and into left field. Taylor will score. Weimer gets to third.
The Brewers take on the Dodgers with coverage starting tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Monday, May 8th. Our top story, tragedy in northwest Wisconsin.
I'm Eric Bilstead. A weekend of violence in Texas.
For a week.
I'm Debbie Laziga, looking pretty good out on the roads. Volume is super light and road conditions looking great. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
Not a great looking day today in your storm team forecast. Patchy fog, rainy, cloudy, breezy, high of just 50 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight with low down to 45. We're at 48 right now in Milwaukee. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, tragedy in northwest Wisconsin. A sheriff's deputy in St. Croix County shot and killed in the line of duty.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice says Deputy Katie Leising was responding to a call of a suspected drunk driver in a ditch Saturday evening in the township of Glenwood. After refusing field sobriety tests, the suspect, later identified as Jeremiah Johnson, shot at Leising, striking and later killing her. Johnson then fled to a wooded area where he was found dead with a gunshot wound. This is now the fourth Wisconsin law enforcement officer to die in the line of duty this year, and nearly a month to the day, 2 officers were killed in Barron County. Patrick Kane, WTMJ News.
The shooting in Glenwood, part of a disturbing trend as the state is seeing highest number of law enforcement agents killed in the line of duty in more than 20 years. Wisconsin Professional Police Association Executive Director Jim Palmer tells the State Journal that the shooting is devastating to say the least. Palmer adds that staffing shortages, especially in some of the rural areas, is setting officers in a position to respond to scenes alone. Such was the case here with backup officers several miles away.
Second mass shooting in Texas in just over a week that happened at a busy outlet mall just north of Dallas. The gunman, Mauricio Garcia, opened fire on shoppers. They say with an AR-15, authorities are now looking into the military veterans' possible extremist views on race. ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
Condolences to the victims before the Dallas Stars playoff hockey game. Their head coach is Canadian.
I don't pretend to know the answer on how to fix it, but it's too great a country and too many intelligent people not to do something about it.
Authorities have not yet determined a motive for the rampage. Sources say writings the suspect left behind are part of the investigation.
8 people dead, 9 injured, including children.
More tragedy in Texas. The death toll in a deadly crash at a Texas bus stop near the southern border has now reached 8 after the driver of a vehicle plowed into more than a dozen people, some of them migrants. ABC's Lindsay Watt.
Candles and flowers mark the spot where an SUV hit and killed 8 people at a bus stop in Brownsville, Texas, as authorities investigate whether the crash was an accident or intentional. Some of the victims were migrants who had just left a shelter that helps the homeless and people who cross the border. A witness says the driver was yelling insults before accelerating towards the group.
Now, the driver is in custody, has been charged with reckless driving, still investigating this matter. Other charges are possible.
Warmer months tend to lead to an increase in violence in Milwaukee, a trend already happening this year. Several shootings on Cinco de Mayo and overall non-fatal shootings up from this time last year. Community leaders asking to hear more who want to hear more music and festivities and fewer police sirens as summer arrives. Community activist Vaughn Mays telling TMJ4 News.
We have to have things in place to be more preventative and interruptive versus reactive to what we saw. Just being that voice sometimes and that voice of reason.
Mays and leaders like Community Board Supervisor Caroline Gomez-Tom want to see better gun education. They're also hoping to initiate more organized community and youth events this summer so that people can gather in a safe, controlled environment.
The Milwaukee County Community Reintegration Center, formerly the House of Corrections, has been struggling to maintain staffing levels. According to an April report, the facility says they hired 87 new staff members, but lost 95 in 2022. So that's a 55% staff turnover rate. Same report identifies lower pay compared to neighboring counties and the difficulty of the job as key factors driving that rate.
Flowers for Mom on Mother's Day, an important warning. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 5:04.
If you were offered a guaranteed cash prize, would you take the offer or would you risk it to possibly win more? It's Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells Take It or Leave It, where on May 27th, you could be chosen to play the Take It or Leave It game, where you could be one of several participants to have the opportunity to pick a case containing up to $100,000 in cash. It's the Take It or Leave It game, May 27th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
See Ho Chunk Gaming representative for more details.
A unique blend of jazz and rock vocal music that has been celebrated by generations. It's Blood, Sweat, and Tears, performing live Friday, July 7th, 8 p.m. at Ho Chunk Gaming.
You made me so.
Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster.
When I die,
a renaissance of unbridled talent. It's Blood, Sweat, and Tears, July 7th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
Must be 21 to attend concert.
Champagne's not as cheap as ginger ale, and you can't buy caviar for the same price as candy. But now, you can buy Beautyrest Hybrid and the highest-end Tempur-Pedic mattresses for nowhere near highest-end prices. Hasseless Mattress is clearing out a handful of premium floor models. These mattresses are the best, and you can get them for way less. Like the Beautyrest Queen Haven Bay was on sale for $1,178, now just $471. Or the Beautyrest Hybrid King Harbor Oaks was on sale for $3,099, but the floor model is just $854. Plus, save big on Sealy adjustable bases, originally marked $984, now on sale for just $392. It's like buying a Rolls Royce for $10,000 just because it sat on the showroom floor. Selection is limited. Only a few floor models are available at each Hasseless location, and when they're gone for good. Find a self-service, employee-free showroom near you at Hasseless.com.
Cut through the clutter with Axiom, the weekly newsletter from Annex Wealth Management. Subscribe today for 7 insights built and delivered to you every Sunday. It'll help you navigate the markets and the things that affect your money. The Axiom. Sign up at annexwealth.com.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 5:07.
Brewers back home tonight after a brutal road trip. Brandon Snide looks ahead in sports at 5:15.
Decision Wisconsin now, the first Republican presidential primary debate set to be held in Milwaukee this August, but frontrunner and former President Donald Trump may not attend. Meet the Press's Chuck Todd from NBC News tells TMJ4 News that Trump has no advantage to debate.
Look, we do know Donald Trump doesn't want to be too far away from that TV screen. My guess is this. He's definitely not doing the first debate. I think this is a little bit of him as a power play going, let's see how your debates go when I'm not there. I think honestly, he probably doesn't need to do any of the debates as long as he's the front runner.
Former Governor Scott Walker says Trump needs to win more than the 18 to 29-year-old voters if he plans on winning all of 2024.
A local school board is doing its election over after irregularities were found in results from last month's election. The Whitnall School District found results for the board president, vice president, treasurer, and clerk were reported inaccurately. An unnamed employee has since been fired after investigation. Video of the meeting showed a woman handing out and counting secret ballots during the election process. To correct the irregularities, the board plans to conduct another reorganization at its meeting this evening.
With Mother's Day right around the corner, that's right, it's Sunday. Careful not to get scammed when ordering flowers.
Really, they're listing either fake businesses online or they're misrepresenting their actual location.
Michelle Reinen from the Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection warns to avoid red flags when ordering flowers.
You want to make sure they have a local address, a brick and mortar presence, a local telephone exchange that you can engage with.
Reinen suggests asking specific questions about flower deliveries and doing your research to find a flower source that's local to your mom's community. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Yeah, if it's the thought that counts, you can't just show mom the receipt. Well, I meant, look, I bought these flowers. Yeah.
I've had my card or my flowers come after Mother's Day on accident before. She played it cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how she really felt about it.
5:09 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right. at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Traffic is sponsored by Harwood Place Senior Living.
Learn more about Harwood Place Retirement Living's newly renovated apartments and updated pricing options at our May 10th open house. To RSVP or to schedule a tour, visit harwoodplace.org.
Let's get a check on those roads this morning with Debbie.
All right, Vince, we're looking pretty good right now. We're really not seeing any delays around the area. Volume is super light and no incidents either, so everything is looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ 5-day forecast today. Rain showers and cool temperatures. We'll see a high close to 50 degrees. Tomorrow, back to some sunshine late in the day. A high of 61 by the lakefront, but inland spots low 70s. Wednesday, more sunshine. Highs in the mid-60s by the lakefront, mid-70s inland. Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs in the upper 60s by the lakefront and then upper 70s inland. Friday, showers return. High temperatures fall a bit and they'll be in the mid to upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Marissa Walls with the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Temperature right now, 48 degrees.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's your host, Vince Vitrano.
Just about 12 minutes after 5 on this Monday morning, Wisconsin's Morning News. I'm fascinated by your son's Little League team or baseball team, Eric, and the team mascot that they've chosen.
Yes. They,
a live mascot.
Yes, they have a live mascot. It's U13, so they're 7th graders. And their mascot is a goldfish.
Okay, all well and good. Except
goldfish makes the games.
The goldfish is there.
Yes, rooting on the team. Yes.
Does the fish have an? Of course it does. What's the fish's name?
Stony, I think is what they call it. Stony. They're the Stone Men. That's the name of the team.
Okay.
So
old Stony the goldfish.
Yeah. So it has a tiny little plastic aquarium. They keep it in the dugout with them. They carry it out after the game if they win and brings them good luck and good fortune.
Who's the keeper of Stony?
Well,
does he kind of travel around? Or?
There has been a little conversation about whether or not it needs to be. One kid I think is generally carrying it around.
Okay.
But there's been talk that maybe the MVP of the game should have to bring it home and take care of it until the next game.
Well, then you'd need a little travel pack. Right. Like this is Stoney's food and this is Stoney's treats.
So I'm a little worried about that all of a sudden that thing's going to end up at my house somehow. But hasn't happened I think one kid is basically taking care of this thing.
I think the other very real concern is spring baseball in Wisconsin has some widely fluctuating temperatures.
Well, I was laughing about that. So they played through the weekend. So they're out there Saturday, and I'm this goldfish in that weather on Saturday. And then yesterday, the sun was baking for a bit yesterday, and here that goldfish is out there. I'm like, oh, my God.
The variance in water temperature has to be like 30 degrees.
So far, so good. It's not floating yet.
It's not been some ice on the top like in those early games.
So, no.
How's Stoney? He looks good. Not moving much.
So a little paler than normal.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if Stoney makes it.
I want to see if we can make it the whole year. We have some games that are like far away, too. We're talking several hours away. So
Stoney travels well, it appears.
Fish getting car sick before the game.
Stoney looks not well today.
So, do you need a second one? Kind of like the Hank the Dog conspiracy. Do we need to find a second Stoney just in case?
For sure, because if Stoney
just
is
like him. Hey.
Right.
If Stoney is in your custody and he goes down, that's a replacement.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure, and nobody has to know.
Is Stoney working? What's the record?
Yeah, so they're over 500 with Stoney, and they were struggling a bit without him. So.
Got to keep him.
There you go.
Got to keep him.
Got to respect the streak. 5:14 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Are you ready for retirement? I'm Tony Drake, founder of Drake & Associates. My new book, Get Retirement Ready, can help make retiring easier. In it, I discuss a well-thought-out financial plan and how that makes the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, like planning for health care, leaving a legacy for your loved ones, and being as tax efficient as possible, and much more. Call or text BOOK to 414-404-4994 for your free copy and a bonus retirement ready toolkit from Drake & Associates that includes helpful guides on taxes, Social Security, healthcare, and much more. Call or text BOOK to 414-404-4994.
Investment advisory services provided by Drake & Associates LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products are offered through a separate company, Law Financial Group LLC. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply any level of skill or training.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Brandon Snide.
It's been 8 days since the Brewers last won a baseball game, and thanks to some timely hitting and speed on the bases, the crew got back into the win column on Sunday afternoon.
2-1 to Yelich. Lined into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Weimer's going to be sent home. Here comes the throw home. Weimer slides, and he is safe.
Lane Grindle right on the call right here on WTMJ as Yelich helped bring Weimer home, and the Brewers go on to win 7-3 in San Francisco for their 19th win of the season. It was a rough road trip for the Brew Crew. They went 1-5, but they are back home tonight. Freddie Peralta is slated to get the start with a 6:40 first pitch. You can tune in right here on WTMJ beginning at 6:05.
Did you see Weimer blew out his pants on that slide? A big old
Getting home quickly.
Hey, man, whatever it takes.
Hey, it's a win. A win is a win. Over to the NFL, where the Packers rookies descended upon Green Bay over the weekend for a mini camp to break in their NFL debuts. First rounder Lucas Van Ness, the 13th overall selection for the Packers. He was one of the many among the fresh faces looking to soak it all in and looking to take it all at one step at a time.
For me, I just want to come in and learn as much as possible about the system and what it means to be a professional. As I mentioned before, this is a whole brand new learning curve for me. Getting used to, playing football but not having to manage school and all the traditional things I had to manage as a student athlete.
Head coach Matt LaFleur speaking, looking forward to coaching up Van Ness and all those rookies that he has and the youth movement that is currently happening in Green Bay.
Having a lot of youth is exciting because you really don't know until you get these guys in here and start to work with them. But I do think we've got some talented players to work with, and we'll see what they can handle.
Next up for head coach Matt LaFleur and all those rookies, Van Ness included, is the organized team activities, which begins on May 22nd.
Hey, can I add a sports story here?
Of course you can. This is your
Milwaukee
show.
Admirals advancing this weekend to the next round of the Calder Cup playoffs after a thrilling last-second victory Saturday night. UWM Panther Arena in a moment with Wisconsin Morning News vibes all over it.
The Admirals 2-on-1. Sanford, right circle. Backhand. Score! Spencer Stastny! Spencer Stastny scores with 26.8 to go. Spencer Stastny in his hometown.
AHL TV with the call. Admirals win 2-1. They advance in the Calder Cup playoffs in his hometown, he said. Indeed, Spencer Stastny grew up in Mequon. Family still all here, and we know this because he told us the story as a guest on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I'm just enjoying every day here, and it's awesome being back home. So I'm enjoying everything. The group is awesome, the team, and I just love being in Wisconsin.
Telling you, Eric, goes to the theme.
There's a trend here.
When you're a friend of the program, good things happen to you. Ads advance. They are on home ice Friday and Saturday against the Texas Stars, and the hometown kid doing good.
I love a last-second hockey call. Incredible.
Solid call, right?
Incredible call.
So the kid from Mequon and the Admirals advance.
Score! Spencer Stastny! Spencer Stastny scores!
Wake up with me. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Tune in every Monday and Friday at 8:30 for Matzik's Morning Minute. Everything you need to know about all your favorite Wisconsin teams in just 60 seconds.
Willie to left and deep. Hey, get up!
Mondays and Fridays at 8:30 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Breaking news out of Green Bay where the Packers and Jordan Love have agreed on a one-year contract extension.
Sponsored by Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Differentiation Officer Brian Wickert reminding home shoppers that working with AccuNet is different and better than working with your bank. Most bank pre-approvals state they've only verified the potential home buyer's credit, but not their income or money for down payment. To us, that's just crazy. AccuNet's rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval tells the seller we've checked out all three aspects of your financial health, and that will pay $2,000 if our pre-approval is faulty. Banks don't do that, but they do have a lot of overhead with all their vice presidents and fancy branches. We keep overhead low, which means lower rates and closing costs that are typically $1,000 to $3,000 lower than banks. Most importantly, our loan consultants can show you and your agent how to improve your financing and appraisal contingencies so your offer has the best chance of winning in a multiple offer situation. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Click on the blue button today for your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval. That's ACCUNET.com.
I want to be everything when I grow up. I want to be an astronaut. I would like to become an animator. It's so cool how the drawings actually come to life.
I want to be a vet because I get to help animals.
Foster a future. Children in foster care have unlimited potential. Go to fosterparentsrock.org. Sponsored by the Coalition for Children, Youth, and Families and the Wisconsin Department of Children and Families.
This is what I love to do.
Traffic is sponsored by the all-new Burghardt Sporting Goods. The all-new Burghardt Sporting Goods, the Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center, is now open in New Berlin.
Let's get a check on those roads at 521. What do you have, Debbie?
Well, it's still pretty quiet out there, Vince. We really don't have any kind of problems right now. No incidents up on the board, and volume is super light so far. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast today from meteorologist Marissa Wallace, and not real nice, especially coming off that beautiful day on Sunday. Patchy fog, rainy, cloudy, breezy. We were like 0 for 3 there, 0 for 4. High of 50 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight with low down of 45. Tuesday becoming sunny. Have a high in the low 70s away from Lake Michigan. Much cooler by the lake, high of just 61. Wednesday, 66 degrees, your high at Lake Michigan. 75 inland under mostly sunny skies. Thursday, mostly sunny. High 68 at the lake. 78 inland. And Friday, showers return with high of 65. A little bit warmer away from the lake. Right now, 48 in Milwaukee.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there.
522 on Wisconsin's Morning News this Monday morning. Eric Bilstead and Greg Pancake Hill, who produces this program. Back from, Deb, did you go as well?
Debbie was on stage for it.
I was presenting.
Yeah, oh, well, Debbie was a presenter at the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Spring Awards show. And Eric brought back our awards in a wheelbarrow. Well, one, because there were a lot of them, but two, actually, it looks like it because one of them's broken already.
Which one? Oh, no.
So we get these, congratulations to the team. Very proud of everybody. We took home a bunch, including Best News Operation for Large Market and Station of the Year for Large Market. Very proud of that, and that's a streak that we hold dear, that we continue to have that opportunity to win that. So I've had them, like Wyatt Barmarpuli was there, and he was like, hey, I don't want to bring these in my car. I don't trust these. I don't trust that I'm going to be able to take care of them. So I'm like, all right, I'll take the big boys.
Oh, so he gave it to a trusted adult.
So I have the two
that was
the big glass ones, right? And I have them in the floor of the car. Driving all over the place yesterday, no problem. You know, running errands, doing different things.
You never unloaded?
Never unloaded because I was going to bring them into work today.
Okay.
Made it. They were fine. Drove this morning. They're fine. Pull into the parking garage. Turn around the corner of the parking garage. Kaplunk! One of them falls over.
Oh.
And off comes a little bit of glass. So now it has character.
Yeah, no, it's like the Stanley Cup that they take around, right? Everybody should get a turn with it.
Just like the Stanley Cup.
Take it home and drink
like
out
that.
of it and whatever else.
Yeah, so I guess I did take it out of the bed, out of the bed. I meant out of the car to the bed.
Eric slept with it.
Just one time.
I know probably for you listening right now, whether or not we win awards or not particularly germane to you or to your life. So
Right.
they matter to us in our little circles
Well, right.
and that. So,
But it also you have a bar that you work to meet every year. So I'm proud to know that we met it again.
always nice to be honored by your
Yes.
peers. And these are peer-reviewed sort of things. So good night for WTMJ and for Good Karma Brands overall. ESPN Milwaukee won a number of awards.
The
as
Truth did very well as well.
1017 The Truth. So congrats around here in Milwaukee. While we got a second, can I just bring this up? This happened the other day when we were sitting around doing our meeting, and I got a text. I had service on my fiber at home. So we have, I don't mind saying, we have AT&T for everything, okay?
All right.
And we were having slow internet, like it was in and out and whatever, so they sent the guy out. He did a real nice job. Fixed the problem, everything's good.
What
bing,
was the
bing,
problem?
bing.
Any idea? Or?
There was a loose connection somewhere, and he did some work out at the remote box, like away from the house, so a couple of things were going on there. So you always wonder, like, is it me? Is this guy going to get here and be like, I don't know, I don't see anything? No, so he found a couple of problems. He fixed them. He was in and out, did a great job. So they send me this text because you have to give him your phone number so the guy can call you and all that other stuff. Would you be willing to take a brief survey?
Oh, that text.
Right. So fine. Like I said, the guy did a great job, and he was friendly and took care of the problem. So I'm happy to. I figure like, yeah, I'm going to help this guy out so he gets a good report.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll take a brief survey. They texted me the whole survey, question by question.
Oh, wow.
My phone blew up for 5 minutes. What about this? 1 through 5. What about this? Then 5. Then he comes in. I've never seen that before.
It's almost like someone you know who keeps texting you that you
like, all right already. Next thing they see, phone is in silent mode.
You're out of data. It's burning up all your data.
Standard data and message rates do apply. It's 5:26 here on Wisconsin's Morning News. Let's get to the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Finished the week okay. Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up more than 500 points to 33,674. The NASDAQ up 270 to 12,235, and the S&P 500 closed at 4136. That was up 75 at the end of trading on Friday. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Get help now by visiting annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Easy Cater presents We've Got Your Back, Up Singers.
Backup singers.
So right before this important meeting, I get a text from Easy Cater
Ding, ding.
that the restaurant lost power.
No electricity.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
She said sarcastically.
But Easy Cater was like, don't worry.
No sweat.
They got another restaurant to fill the whole order.
The whole order.
And I was like, are you kidding me? But in a good way.
Inflection is everything.
Problem with your order? Easy Cater has your back with over 100,000 restaurants.
Easy Cater.
Order 24/7 on easycater.com.
They got your back.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
So when you're in a pain spiral, will stem cells or bone marrow harvested from your body and then placed back into your body get you out of it? For those willing to go through a very expensive and not exactly easy process, which is not FDA approved, it might. But for those not willing to pay exorbitant amounts to go through all that, especially knowing that pain relief is not a sure thing, it's not an option. At Rejuvenex, we inject powerful, FDA-approved treatments that reduce inflammation and pain, while improving mobility in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees. With some patients experiencing relief for greater than 2 years before repeating the process. I'm Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics, and we are in network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief, really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Wisconsin's Morning News National Anthem is powered by Weniger Compressor, putting the I Can in American. This is the Waukesha West Choir. 5:30, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. Our top story, a search for suspects after a triple shooting in Fond du Lac.
I'm Eric Bilstead, another fallen officer in rural Wisconsin.
I'm Brandon Snide. Willie hits number 100, and the Brewers finally get back on track.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Everything seems to be moving along pretty well this morning. Light enough volume, although it's starting to pick up a little bit, but no incidents up on the board. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
Patchy fog and rain today, 48 right now.
The investigation continuing into the weekend's deadly shooting at a mall just north of Dallas. 8 people shot and killed along with a gunman who opened fire with an AR-15 assault-style rifle.
We now know this person was Mauricio Garcia, a 33-year-old who lives somewhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, was in the Army. He was removed in 2008 because of mental health concerns. He had a tactical vest on. He was armed with a rifle and some kind of a handgun. FBI agents who have examined the weapons found insignia indicating a right-wing extremist ideology. They're looking not just at the crime itself, but also at the social media footprint of Garcia, trying to learn something about the motivation for the killing.
ABC's Jim Ryan in Dallas. Deadly bus stop crash in Brownsville, Texas. 8 killed when a man rammed his SUV into several people. Some of the victims were migrants. Closing arguments begin today in the New York civil assault and defamation trial against former President Donald Trump. His legal team deciding over the weekend not to have him testify in his own defense. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center this morning, police in Fond du Lac searching right now for 3 suspects involved in a shooting last night. TMJ4's Elaine Rojas Castillo is live in Fond du Lac.
A 20-year-old woman is dead and 2 others right now are in critical condition, and police say that they're still searching for 3 possible suspects. The shooting happened right near we are at Maplewood Commons near Martin Avenue and East Pioneer Drive at about 7 o'clock last night. And those 2 suspects that police are looking for, they say that they might have ran off towards the fairgrounds and they're still looking for them.
Police have not indicated a motive for the shooting.
Tragedy in northwest Wisconsin. A sheriff's deputy in St. Croix County shot and killed over the weekend.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice says Deputy Katie Leising was responding to a call of a suspected drunk driver in a ditch Saturday evening in the township of Glenwood. After refusing field sobriety tests, the suspect, later identified as Jeremiah Johnson, shot at Leising, striking and later killing her. Johnson then fled to a wooded area where he was found dead with a gunshot wound. This is now the 4th Wisconsin law enforcement officer to die in the line of duty this year, and nearly a month to the day 2 officers were killed in Barron County. Patrick Kane, WTMJ News.
Deputy Leising was 29 years old. She began with St. Croix in 2022.
Police investigating the drug overdoses of 4 people at a home in Grafton, including a woman whom police say was mauled by a dog. Officers performed life-saving measures on all 4 individuals. The woman in critical condition. She had surgery after the dog attack. Another person said to be in grave condition. 2 others stable. According to Grafton police, they believe that the group was at a bar in Saukville where they bought the drugs and then eventually overdosed in Grafton.
14-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl both in Milwaukee police custody this morning following the reckless driving crash that involved a vehicle striking a school bus. This happened last week. 14-year-old suspected to be the individual who was driving that stolen Kia that crashed in front of that school bus in front of Morse Middle School on the city's northwest side. 2 other teenagers were also taken into custody last week. However, police say they're still searching for 1 more suspect. Both an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old boy were injured in that crash.
An 8-year-old from Wisconsin missing in the Porcupine Mountains area in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. According to the Hurley School District, the boy was camping with family on the Pinkerton Trail before he went missing Saturday afternoon. State park authorities cautioning volunteers from the public, asking them not to show up to the park to help in the search in an effort to, quote, limit chaos. School district says it has 2 buses of volunteers on standby, ready to help in that search if called upon.
Coming up, a fast and furious offer you cannot pass up.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:34.
There's no doubt that a better night's sleep makes for better days, and a top-quality Milwaukee mattress helps make it happen. When you buy your new mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture, you're assured of a mattress made just for you, out of the finest materials right from our factory. We make every style, size, and firmness of mattress imaginable. And with our factory direct prices, you will save hundreds of dollars. Milwaukee mattresses from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee, where better days come from a great night's sleep. Are you getting enough support when you sleep? Feeling pressure on your shoulders, back, or hips? Our natural latex Milwaukee mattress contours and supports your body without causing excessive pressure points. It's made with multiple layers of natural rubber, some for support and some for pressure reduction. And by topping it with a 100% Joma wool quilt, you stay comfortable whatever the temperature is. Test rest our natural latex Milwaukee mattress at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Live life to the fullest. Hey, you hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain, right? Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. QC Kinetics gives people all around Milwaukee their quality of life by providing much-needed relief for chronic joint pain, and not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible, using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. So where is your joint pain? In your knees, your hips, shoulders, maybe your back? Well, QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them the most. No surgery, no downtime, no steroids or harmful drugs. And patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Well, finally being able to exercise or walk the dog, maybe enjoying time with the family, or just working your job. Whatever it is, don't wait another day. Call QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Give them a call. 414-285-3474.
Earn points every time you shop with Fleet Rewards. 500 points gets you a $5 reward. It's free and easy to sign up, in-store or online. Sign up today and start saving with Fleet Rewards at Fleet Farm.
Signing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:36.
Packers rookies report. How'd the new guys do this weekend? Brandon Snide has that in sports at 5:45.
Waukesha-based Generac Power Systems is agreeing to pay a $15 million fine for failing to report a product flaw that led to consumers' fingers being partially amputated or crushed. According to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, there are at least 5 incidents of finger injuries from October of 2018 through 2020 caused by the unlocked handle of certain portable generators. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission recalled 32 models of the company's DR 6,500-watt and 8,000-watt portable generators last summer.
A major component of the remaking of the former Grand Avenue Mall is being considered by many a success.
Editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, Mark Cass, says the 3rd Street Market Hall has reached full capacity, with all vendor stalls now filled.
It's become almost an incubator for small restaurants to start, to spend some time there, to draw in their fans, to create a customer base, and then move out.
Cass adding that the food hall is attracting more activity at all times of the day, including more family-friendly features, compared to the former Grand Avenue.
Come to the heart of downtown on a Sunday morning to have brunch in the Avenue. To me, that is a great example of the traffic it's added right to the heart of the city.
Jessica Gatzo, WTMJ News.
How about a Fast and Furious $1,000? Here's an offer some movie lovers won't be able to refuse.
That is going to go to work. Finance Buzz, a website that offers tips and recommendations on car insurance, is offering fans $1,000 to binge watch all 10 Fast and Furious movies and track the crashes ahead of the release of the newest in the series. We're about to learn all about fear. Fast 10 is out next week. Finance Buzz says it'll also cover $100 of any streaming fees, movie tickets, and snacks you shell out for. As a bonus, the company says you'll get a healthy education about the value of family.
So who's the Fast and Furious fan here on the show? Do we have one? I doubt it's Debbie. Brandon, you're not the Fast and Furious guy? Maybe it's Finn? Greg, you're not, right? How is that possible that none of us are?
I don't know. Isn't it the same movie over and over again?
But it's like one of the
Pretty
most
much.
popular movie franchises in history.
I mean, we all like to see stuff get wrecked, I guess, in movies like that.
Planes jumping over cars jumping onto planes.
And if they give me $1,000, I'll watch them all, sure. 5:39 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Advent founder Dr. Madan Kandula.
If you were formerly breathing properly and we just plugged your nose up, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it for a few minutes. You're not going to like it for an hour. You wouldn't stand it for a day. If we're talking weeks, you're going to be clawing at the walls to get that thing off. And if we're talking months to years to decades, many of our patients are basically walking around with clothespins on their nose and they don't know any difference. They've never experienced what life is supposed to be like when you breathe properly, and so for them, they feel like it's normal. It should be no surprise that many of the folks that we treat have downstream conditions. So if somebody's nose isn't working properly, if somebody's throat isn't working properly, they're not breathing properly. And when you don't breathe properly, it creates problems for your body.
When you breathe well, you live better. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment today.
Breathe well with simple solutions.
Announcing Sendik's Brag and Burger Battle. Submit your burger recipe on Sendix.com for a chance at a $500 Sendix gift card and have your burger sold at Sendix for Father's Day.
Traffic is sponsored by Sendix Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926. What do you have, Deb?
It's a clear ride right now. No major delays around the area and no incidents up on the board. Even through the construction zones, we're actually looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ 5-day forecast. Rain showers today, especially throughout this morning, with a few more into this afternoon. We'll see a high of 50 degrees. Drying out tonight, mostly cloudy. We fall to 45. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, up to 61 by the lakefront. Inland spots, low 70s. Wednesday, mostly sunny, mid-60s by the lakefront, mid-70s inland. Thursday, mostly sunny, upper 60s by the lakefront, upper 70s inland. And on Friday, rain showers return with highs back in the mid to upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Marissa Walls with the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
48 degrees to get you started today. .41 on Wisconsin's Morning News this Monday morning. Little fun for you. Have you seen this floating around the internet? Actress Gwyneth Paltrow doing the Call Her Daddy podcast.
She's always floating around the internet.
Is she?
She's always saying something.
Well, she's doing this podcast with Alex Cooper. Paltrow dated at different times both Brad Pitt and Ben Affleck. Okay. Not like together. Like she was with Brad Pitt for a long time and then had a stint with Ben Affleck. And this podcaster, Alex Cooper, is getting her to dish.
Brad or Ben? It'll be fun. Okay.
Brad.
No. I didn't even ask a question.
Oh, I thought that was the question. Brad or Ben?
No, that was not that. She was going to ask follow-up. Brad or Ben at this, Brad or Ben at that. But she's just like, okay, I'll answer that. So entirely eager, though, was Paltrow to pick favorites here.
Oh.
Right? Does it already make you a little uncomfortable,
cringy.
this one or that one? Without even being asked for what, so it proceeds.
Who was a better kisser?
Oh my God, let me think. Gosh, I have to remember so far back. They were both good kissers.
Okay.
Ooh, cop out, right? If we're going to go down this road.
One is always better.
Right, we're not going to play the, I don't know, they were both, right? So she's kind of setting it up for, I'm not really going to dish, right? Yeah. Oh, she dishes. I mean, you wouldn't want to be in that chair answering those questions, but she went down the road, so then she ultimately owns it. Apparently no problem expanding on the follow-up question.
Who was better in bed?
That's really hard. That is really hard because, like, Brad was like the sort of major chemistry love of your life kind of like at the time, you know? And then, like, Ben was, like, technically excellent.
What does that mean? That's a compliment, right?
Technically excellent. Yes, that gets a bell.
How to do it right?
All of the things. So which compliment would you prefer?
The love of your life?
Love of your life. Whatever. I mean, it sounded like she was all in on Brad. Like this was a love affair and it was passionate.
She's young
and what,
and
right.
all
yes.
that, yeah.
But then adds but Ben was technically excellent. Which compliment would you prefer?
I don't know. Technically excellent, I guess. I don't know.
I'm with you on that one. Deb?
Honestly, I don't really know.
Well, I'll double down on what Eric said. Technically, I mean, anybody can fall in love. And when love is involved, there are all the feels and the whatever.
Everything.
Technically excellent is a transferable skill. You can take that.
I was going to lean a little bit more towards the love thing, but I guess, yeah.
But anybody can do that. If you're technically excellent, you can take that to any relationship. That's a high compliment.
True. That's true.
I barely even liked the guy, but he was really good at what he was doing.
Technically excellent.
This report sponsored by Evans Transportation Services, one company for accounting, shipping, and tracking.
At Evans Transportation, they love the sound of Milwaukee baseball. Bats cracking, crowds cheering, brats grilling. And Evans is a big fan of manufacturing runs, both on the diamond and in supply chain management. When manufacturers have accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, they come to Evans. Because just like in baseball, teams who know how to manufacture runs have the best chance of long-term success. Good luck to the Brew Crew from Evans and Delafield. Find them at evanstrans.com.
St. Vincent de Paul Milwaukee seeks a hands-on facility manager to maintain our thrift store and meal program buildings, grounds, and equipment. In this full-time position with benefits, you'll oversee all facility contracted services and perform light maintenance and repairs to buildings and equipment. Technical training in basic electricity, plumbing, carpentry, and/or mechanical is required, and a degree is a plus. Go to svdpmilw.org to learn more and apply. Good luck.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Brandon Snide.
After losing 6 straight games, the Milwaukee Brewers finally found themselves on the winning side of things, thanks to some help on a Willy Adames milestone achievement.
Here's the 1-1. And Adames, a high fly ball. Deep left field. Back. Track. Bye-bye baseball. Willy Adames with career home run number 100.
Number 100 for Willie and the crew. They take one against the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 7-3. William Contreras also homered in that game, and the crew found their way on offense once again.
I mean, Willie had a really nice day. William had a nice day. We had some homers with men on base. That's still an easier way to score than stringing 5 hits together, but that was a huge part of the day, I thought. And yeah, we had traffic all day, so it was the kind of day you want offensively.
Brewers manager Craig Counsell there as they conclude their 6-game road trip, going 1-5. They are back home tonight to host the Los Angeles Dodgers. First pitch is all set for 6:40. Freddie Peralta is slated to get the start. Over to the NFL, where Matt LaFleur and the Packers got to look at some of their rookies during a 2-day minicamp that kicked off in Green Bay over the weekend. The Pack drafted a pair of tight ends as a position of dire need.
Certainly, they've got a lot of growth. I think that's one of the positions that there is a little bit of a transition from the college game to the NFL, and just in some of the things schematically that we're going to ask them to do, not only in the pass game but in the run game. And we'll see how it evolves over the course of OTAs and our offseason program and into training camp.
Luke Musgrave, one of those highly picked tight ends, a second-round pick to be exact, 42nd overall. He was one of the rookies that reported, and he was all wide-eyed upon his arrival into Green Bay.
Kind of rolling up to the stadium from the airport, like just seeing Lambeau Land, or that whole Titletown. Yeah. Sorry. Titletown area and the stadium, and then this is pretty, kind of like pinch me. Oh my gosh, we're here. So it's pretty cool.
Lambeau Land, Titletown.
I think we missed an opportunity there to properly name this facility.
Lambeau Land. The Packers rookie minicamp wrapped up over the weekend, and next up for Luke Musgrave and company is the organized team activities, which begins on May 22nd.
5:47 coming up next. Dueling tragedies in Texas. We'll give you the latest on both of those stories on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Are you ready to step up to the plate and test your skills? Join Steve every Friday at 10:35 for a rousing round of virtual baseball to win awesome prizes.
Oh, baby.
Steve Scaffidi's Virtual Baseball, presented by Siding Unlimited.
This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Every Friday at 10:35.
I want to talk about annuities and variable life insurance policies. And I'm going to come right out and say that I've never been a fan of either. In fact, in over 30 years, I have rarely recommended annuities to clients. And in that same time, I've never recommended a variable life insurance policy. Now, it's always a matter of opinion, and there are two sides to every story. I just want to make sure that you've heard both sides for both options. So if you're looking at those types of products, give us a call, because it's prudent to hear all sides. At the very least, we can give you the pros and cons and help you make a good decision. I'm Jim Cantrell with Financial Strategies, Inc., a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
Get
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest. Accurate basement repair and siding unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Traffic is brought to you by the senior real estate specialists at brucesteam.com, with you every step of the way. From downsizing to selling the long-time home, the senior real estate specialists at Bruce's team are with you every step of the way. 262-242-6177.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Checking on the roads here with Debbie Lazica, 10 to 6.
All right. Well, we've got a clean bill of health for the roads right now. We got light volume across the area and standard speeds across the area as well. No incidents up on the board either, so yay. I'm Debbie Lazica with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
WTMJ's 5-day forecast is sponsored by Dave Dre Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. Not real nice today. We got patchy fog, rainy, cloudy, and breezy. Don't much care for any of those adjectives with a high of just 50 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight, low down to 45. And we have sunshine Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with temperatures in the low to mid-60s near Lake Michigan, low to mid-70s away from the lake. And then for Friday, showers, high of 65 at the lake, 70 degrees inland. Right now, we're at 49 degrees in Milwaukee.
I'm not aware of too many things. I know what I know if you know what I mean.
5:51 here on Wisconsin's Morning News. Weekend of terrifying, tragic national news out of Texas. Mass shooting in an outlet mall left 8 people dead in Allen, Texas. That's just outside of Dallas. More on what happened there in a moment, but let's start with the more recent tragedy this morning. 8 people dead, others still hospitalized after a driver plowed through a crowded bus stop in the Texas border town of Brownsville.
Candles and flowers mark the spot where an SUV hit and killed 8 people at a bus stop in Brownsville, Texas, as authorities investigate whether the crash was an accident or intentional. Some of the victims were migrants who had just left a shelter that helps the homeless and people who cross the border. A witness says the driver was yelling insults before accelerating towards the group.
That's ABC's Lindsay Watts. Now, you heard her say authorities are still working through the motive. There were all kinds of social media reports yesterday saying the police department of Brownsville said it was an intentional act. That has not yet been determined by investigating authorities. Police spokesman Martin Sandoval on KRG TV.
Now, I know there is a report out there that they're saying that it was intentional, that Brownsville Police is saying that this was an intentional accident. Well, I'm here to clarify that Brownsville Police has never taken the stand that it was an intentional accident. It is a factor that we have to look at.
So it doesn't mean it wasn't intentional. It just means the investigators aren't there yet. They're sorting through a lot of information. They're sorting through a lot of witness reports.
That's what they got to do.
There's video there as well. So, just a word of caution. This is obviously very sensitive, and it has wider implications. And what the police department there is saying is, let us work through this, and we're going to be forthright. We're going to tell you what happens, but let us work through our investigation. And they're not through that yet. What we do know about the driver.
The driver, identified by police as a Hispanic man, was taken to the hospital for treatment. Authorities are looking into whether alcohol played a factor, describing the man as very uncooperative, charging him with reckless driving.
So that's the situation in Brownsville, Texas. Again, that happened Sunday. Back to Allen, Texas now, Saturday. Outlet mall full of shoppers. Gunman starts taking people out in the parking lot with a semi-automatic rifle. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
It didn't appear that he was targeting anybody. It just seemed to be random shots fired into the people that he saw there in front of him. The police officer who happened to be there at the Allen Premium Outlets was responding to a different call, something unrelated, heard the gunshots, responded, and took down this shooter. And again, this being the Saturday before Mother's Day weekend, the place was absolutely packed.
So you heard an officer took out the gunman. Gunman is dead. What we do know about him and a possible motive becoming a little bit clearer this morning.
We now know this person was Mauricio Garcia, a 33-year-old who lives somewhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, was in the Army. He was removed in 2008 because of mental health concerns. He had a tactical vest on. He was armed with a rifle and some kind of a handgun. FBI agents who have examined the weapons found insignia indicating a right-wing extremist ideology. They're looking not just at the crime itself, but also at the social media footprint of Garcia, trying to learn something about the motivation for the killing.
So both of those tragedies out of Texas this morning, investigations continue at this hour. And, this morning, the political fallout in the latter case, reigniting the debate over gun control, assault weapons ban, universal background checks, those familiar refrains. Governor Abbott of Texas saying this is a mental health issue. Others saying, can it be both? And, we break along our political lines in that discussion. And in the former case, then you have the migrants killed, the debate over illegal immigration, border control, a look ahead to later this week when the COVID rules that allowed border agents to just turn back border crossers immediately, those expire. Doesn't seem like we have a real good plan in place to deal with the expected flood of people at our southern border.
No,
so
the White House is sending, 1,500 more National Guardsmen to that area. If they're not down there already, they're going to be.
And to do what? Under what policies? Under what ability to process people who might have legitimate claims of asylum? Still haven't figured out that mess. And then, I don't know if you spent any time on social media yesterday, but it was an ugly place.
Whoa.
Everybody breaking into their camps, everybody wanting to be right with even those, the part that gives me pause is people are dead. And very little focus on that human tragedy and more just breaking into the camps of people who want to use that to be right about something or to not be wrong about something. And not enough focus on the fact that these are terrible tragedies.
Well, and I would say, too, though, the frustration, it's gotten to a point where the amount of these shootings that we're seeing, it's been this way for years now. So what are we going to do about it? You can't just say nothing anymore. I do think there has to be some type of discussion about anything other than just nothing happening. I mean, we're just in a spot here. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what would work. But, boy, nothing is happening, and it continues to take place.
When our deeply entrenched politics prevents us from having those open and honest discussions.
Right.
All right, is there some way we can move forward with something? Jim Ryan from ABC News is in Texas. I believe he's based out of Dallas, so he's going to join us live this morning at 7:20 with the latest on both of these tragedies in America. 5:57 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Business headlines are up next. Here's the Milwaukee Business Journal's Sari Lesk.
South Milwaukee could see a former Burger King restaurant converted to a Wendy's. The property is outside a Walmart store. BMO Harris Bank's outgoing CEO says the financial institution remains committed to Milwaukee now that it's expanding through its acquisition of Bank of the West. Dave Casper said Milwaukee remains an important market for the bank, and an initial public stock offering is on hold indefinitely for automotive battery maker Clarios International. The business recently completed financial transactions to repay about $3.5 billion in borrowings. I'm Sari Lesk with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Hey, former radio wake-up guy Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. If that recent cold snap made you think that now is the time to replace those drafty old windows, then now is a good time to call Hometown Windows and Doors. Save heating costs now, cooling dollars down the road with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from Hometown. Hometown offers the brands you trust like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softlight, and more in wood, vinyl, and fiberglass. And all of their products are installed by employee carpenters. Plus, Hometown is the area's only Pella Platinum and Marvin authorized replacement company. Hometown's dedicated consultants can guide you to the best fit and value for your home and your remodeling dollar. Stop in at their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin and see the Hometown difference for yourself. Or call them for a no-pressure in-home consultation, 414-329-1200. 800 or visit them at hometownwindows.com. That's hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Remember those books where you decide what the characters do?
If you choose to slay the dragon, turn to page 34.
Oh yeah, I love those books. Well, the Simply Yours sofa from Penny Mustard is kind of like that.
Oh, sure, because you choose your own features.
Arm style, cushions, back, legs, finish, fabric, color, everything. If you want a pleated one cushion arm, turn to page 62.
If you want a sleeper sofa for future guests, turn to page 87.
If you decide to cut loose from the laser shark and join the space circus to rescue Princess Polaris, who's being held hostage inside the Statue of Liberty by an evil band of albino cyborgs, turn to page 44.
See? So simple.
Choose your own furniture adventure. Come see the Simply Yours sofa, made in the USA with a solid wood frame and ultra high-density foam cushions, starting at $21.68 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com. Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Oh, I get it. You're good at dodging baseballs. Like this.
Throw back to third. It goes over the head of the third baseman Davis and into left field. Taylor will score. Weimer gets to third.
The Brewers take on the Dodgers with coverage starting tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
6 a.m., I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Monday, May 8th. Our top story, suspects still out there in Fond du Lac.
I'm Eric Bilstead. Tragedy in northwest Wisconsin.
I'm Brandon Snide. The Brewers do something they haven't done in over a week.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. So far, so good. We do have one broken down vehicle on the on-ramp from Moreland Road to westbound 94. Looks like it's an overheat. Then it's off on the side of the road with a squad. So just be careful with that area. Otherwise, everything else looking great. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Not a real pretty day today in your Storm Team forecast from Marissa Wallison at TMJ4. Patchy fog, rainy, cloudy, breezy, high of 50 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight, low down to 45. Right now we're at 48 in Milwaukee. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, police in Fond du Lac are looking this morning for 3 people they believe may have been involved in a shooting last night. TMJ4's Elaine Rojas Castillo is live in Fond du Lac.
A 20-year-old woman is dead and 2 others right now are in critical condition. And police say that they're still searching for 3 possible suspects. This shooting happened right near we are at Maplewood Commons near Martin Avenue and East Pioneer at about 7 o'clock last night. And those 2 suspects that police are looking for, they say that they might have ran off towards the fairgrounds and they're still looking for them.
Police say they are unsure of a motive at this point.
Tragedy in northwest Wisconsin. A sheriff's deputy in St. Croix County shot and killed over the weekend.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice says Deputy Katie Leising was responding to a call of a suspected drunk driver in a ditch Saturday evening in the township of Glenwood. After refusing field sobriety tests, the suspect, later identified as Jeremiah Johnson, shot at Leising, striking and later killing her. Johnson then fled to a wooded area where he was found dead with a gunshot wound. This is now the 4th Wisconsin law enforcement officer to die in the line of duty this year, and nearly a month to the day 2 officers were killed in Barron County. Patrick Kane, WTMJ News.
Shooting in Glenwood is part of a disturbing trend in the state. We've seen the highest number of law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty in 23 years. Wisconsin Professional Police Association Executive Director Jim Palmer tells the Wisconsin State Journal the shooting is, quote, devastating to say the least. Palmer adding that staffing shortages, especially in rural areas, put police officers in a position to respond to scenes alone. That's what happened in this case, with backup officers often miles away at times.
In Texas, the suspect Mauricio Garcia in Saturday's shooting at a mall just north of Dallas had a troubled history that police are looking into, including extremist views on race. Garcia allegedly opened fire on shoppers with an AR-15, a weapon at the center of gun control debates. But Texas Governor Greg Abbott is blaming another problem for the weekend carnage that left 8 dead and 9 others injured. including children. ABC's Andrew Dimberg.
Overnight, 7 people were still hospitalized from the shooting, 3 in critical condition. This is the second mass shooting in Texas in just over a week. Governor Greg Abbott responded yesterday to critics of the state's gun laws and pointed to the nation's mental health crisis. Sources say the suspect in Saturday's rampage was discharged from the Army in 2008 because of mental health concerns.
A deadly bus stop crash in Brownsville, Texas, claimed another life. That happened Saturday. That one happened Sunday. An SUV slammed into several people, killing 7. And Sunday night, we learned another victim of the crash had died, bringing the death toll to 8 now. Some of the victims were migrants. Victor Maldonado runs the Oznam Center. That's a shelter that helps people in need of emergency housing. He tells us that he is heartbroken.
It's just tragic. I mean, we've never had a situation like this happening, here at the shelter or in the city.
9 others were injured. Law enforcement looking into whether that was an intentional act. The driver is in custody.
Coming up, a reason to be wary when you buy Mother's Day flowers.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:05.
One of the main things we hear from employers is how hard it is to find and retain the best employees. There are job openings and opportunities, but not enough qualified people to fill those roles. How is your organization tackling these challenging issues? At Ansay & Associates, we are a top 60 agency nationally that partners with Wisconsin-based organizations. As a leading employee benefits agency, we help employers proactively design and implement industry-leading benefits programs. We help you become a destination employer that stands out in a crowded field. We realize that benefits costs are increasing, so regardless of your business size, Ansay & Associates is here to help you identify what's driving up your costs, implement creative solutions, and shop to find the most competitive offering in your market. Visit ansay.com today and get a free consultation with one of our strategists, or come see us in person at any of our local offices. Ansay & Associates, securing and protecting your American dream.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, especially when it comes to gardening. Right now, get unbeatable deals on supplies to support your backyard bounty, like select Fizzcars garden hand tools, just $4.99. Save $10 on large bags of Estate Sun to Shade grass seed. Rewards members save an extra $10. Shop our selection of live flowers and plants in our outdoor garden center, now open at most locations. Plus, get Blaine's best price promise, the guaranteed lowest price, or we'll match it.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. It's a bird bash at Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to $50,000 cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your club card this May for a chance to win. Wouldn't you like to kick off spring with some tweet cash? Bird Bash, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info at paysbig.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
The famous Fox and Hounds is hiring cleaners. You'll work morning hours and make great money. No experience necessary, just a positive attitude and strong work ethic. Work for a successful family restaurant. Inquire today. Start next week at the award-winning Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:07.
Brewers back home tonight after a brutal road trip that at least ended on a good note. Brandon Snyder, Sports at 6:15.
Decision Wisconsin, the first Republican presidential primary debate set to be held in Milwaukee. But the frontrunner, former President Donald Trump, may not attend that debate in August. Meet the Press's Chuck Todd from NBC News tells TMJ4 the former president has no advantage to be there.
Look, we do know Donald Trump doesn't want to be too far away from that TV screen. My guess is this. He's definitely not doing the first debate. And I think this is a little bit of him as a power play going, let's see how your debates go when I'm not there. I think honestly, he probably doesn't need to do any of the debates as long as he's the front runner.
Former Governor Scott Walker, who is tied to that first debate with the group that he works with, says the former president needs to win over more of the 18 to 29-year-old voters if he plans on winning.
Local school board is going to do its election over for leadership positions after irregularities were found in the results from last month's election. The Whitnall School District found results from the board president, vice president, treasurer, and clerk were reported inaccurately. An unnamed employee has since been fired after investigation of the video from the meeting showed a woman handing out and counting secret ballots during that process. To correct the irregularities, the board plans to conduct a reorganization at its meeting this evening.
Mother's Day is Sunday. Careful not to get scammed if you're ordering up any flowers.
Really, they're listing either fake businesses online or they're misrepresenting their actual location.
Michelle Reinen from the Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection warns to avoid red flags when ordering flowers.
You want to make sure they have a local address, a brick and mortar presence, a local telephone exchange that you can engage with.
Reinen suggests asking specific questions about flower deliveries and doing your research to find a flower source that's local to your mom's community. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Signing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 6:09.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert back to report even more home buyers paid over the asking price last month, rising to 50% in the 5-county metro area. 3 out of 10 paid $10,000 or more above that list price. The good news is appraised values are generally keeping up with the over-asking offers. Still, the most powerful thing a buyer can do to make their offer the most attractive in a multiple offer situation is to give the seller some appraisal wiggle room. Telling the seller you're willing to pay over the asking price, even if the house appraises lower, sounds scary because most buyers think they have to fill that potential gap with more down payment. But in the vast majority of cases, AccuNet is showing home buyers how they can offer appraisal wiggle room without bringing a nickel more to closing. Appraisal wiggle room is like a good card trick. You need to see it to believe it. So if you're home shopping with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, upgrade today to an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores, Highway 100 and Layton Avenue, 23rd and Lincoln. Great stores, great cause, and unbelievable bargains. You're going to love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Checking on the roads here at 6:10 with Debbie.
All right, our earlier problem on 94 westbound Moreland Road's on-ramp looks like that is just about all gotten cleared up. But still, watch out for that area just in case. There might be still some leftover cleanup going on. The rest of the system looking pretty good. Super quiet around the area right now. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ 5-day forecast, a gloomy start to the week. Plenty of rain showers across the area today and cool temperatures. We'll see highs close to 50 degrees. Rain showers then around dinner time tonight, mostly cloudy overnight with temperatures falling into the mid-40s. Tomorrow, clearing skies, looking at low 60s by the lakefront in the afternoon, but low 70s inland. Wednesday, mostly sunny, mid-60s by the lakefront and mid-70s inland. Thursday, mostly sunny, upper 60s by the lakefront and upper 70s inland. Friday, back to some rain showers with highs in the mid to upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Marissa Walls with the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee temperature at 48.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's your host, Vince Vitrano.
Just about 12 minutes after 6 on this Monday morning. It's still a bit unclear to me. Did the MTV...
It just wasn't live.
It's movie and TV awards, right? So these weren't even music awards.
No.
And it was supposed to be a live show.
Yeah, with Drew Barrymore hosting.
But then she pulled out, right?
Yes. So the host,
of the writer strike?
Yeah, because of the writer strike, she said, look, I'm not going to go up there and host a live show. So MTV at the last minute scrapped the live event and cobbled together a clip show instead.
And that did air?
And that did air. So we got to see that instead. America's Coolest Mom, Jennifer Coolidge, she took home an award and spoke.
Almost all great comedy starts with great writers. And I just think that, as a proud member of SAG, I stand here before you side by side with my sisters and brothers from the WGA that are fighting right now, fighting for the rights of artists everywhere.
So she spoke on behalf of the writers there, as did Pedro Pascal. Of course, he's the guy that plays the Mandalorian, but he was accepting an award on behalf of The Last of Us, which is a show on HBO.
We are all thanking HBO and Naughty Dog and standing in solidarity with the WGA that is fighting very hard for fair wages.
So my hope was that villain Ghostface from Scream, who also accepted an award, would also mention the writers, but he did not.
Here's a twist you didn't see coming. The villain comes out on top. To all the fans who voted, you finally answered my question. What's your favorite scary movie?
It would have been great, though, if he would have said, and on behalf of the writers.
Also, we stand in solidarity with the writers, because I wouldn't even exist without the writers.
So that would have made my day.
You know what's scary? Life without Netflix. That's the real scare.
Right? I was waiting for it. I didn't see Scream Guy walking around with a picket, with the sign on the picket line or anything like that.
And without regard for the seriousness of, what the writers are fighting for and even choosing a side in that, I don't know that fans want to tune in to 2 hours of people saying, I stand with the writers. Like, yes, okay.
So MTV
how entertaining is that?
They had a decision they had to make a couple days earlier. I mean, they were running promos with Drew Barrymore and all this different stuff, and here this didn't happen, so they had to come up with something. Of course, Tom Cruise won an award for Top Gun, and he accepted his award in a plane while flying it.
Everyone, thank you so much for this award. I make these films for you. I love you. I love entertaining.
And then watch what he does here.
To know how much you enjoy it, how much you appreciate it, there's just no better feeling. And I hope you enjoy Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. It'll be coming out
there
July.
It
is a wild ride.
Yep.
Coming up next.
Yes, in July, the latest Mission Impossible movie. So he's not to be outdone. He didn't bring up the writers. He just flew his jet around.
6:14 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
James Imaging Systems, Milwaukee, number 23R-5-1. Colasari, taking care of the customer. RJ Schenner has several Toshiba copier printers from James Imaging Systems. IT manager Gabe Colasari.
The reason why for James Imaging is their responsiveness, dedication, knowledge of the product, and they always make sure that the customer is taken care of.
The kind of customer service you'd expect from a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed office technology company like James Imaging Systems.
We actually have a high-end printing machine on site, so we produce our own catalogs, so we need the support to handle that.
James Imaging Systems, better document imaging technology, better service.
When we got a problem, we're able to call in and get it rectified or corrected without any issues.
Gabe, any advice to other local businesses?
Contact James. They'll take care of you.
James Imaging Systems, reliable document imaging technology, extraordinary local service. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Siding Unlimited named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 3-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Brandon Snide.
It has been 8 days since the Brewers last won a baseball game, and thanks to some timely hitting and speed on the bases, the Crew got back into the win column on Sunday afternoon.
2-1 to Yelich. Lined into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Weimer's going to be sent home. Here comes the throw home. Weimer slides, and he is safe.
Lane Grindle on the call right here on WTMJ as Yelich helped bring Weimer home, and the Brewers go on to finally win a game 7-3 in San Francisco for their 19th win of the season. It was a rough road trip for the Brewers, who went 1-5, but they are back home tonight looking for some home cooking. Freddie Peralta is slated to get the start with a 6:40 first pitch against the Los Angeles Dodgers. You can tune in right here on WTMJ beginning at 6:05. Over to the NFL, where the Packers rookies descended upon Green Bay over the weekend for a minicamp to break in their NFL debuts. First-rounder Lucas Van Ness among the fresh faces looking to soak it all in and looking to take it one step at a time.
For me, I just want to come in and learn as much as possible about the system and what it means to be a professional. As I mentioned before, this is a whole brand new learning curve for me. Getting used to, playing football but not having to manage school and all the traditional things I had to manage as a student athlete.
The Packers selected 13 rookies in the NFL draft this year, and head coach Matt LaFleur, he's looking forward to coaching up Van Ness and the youth movement that is happening in Green Bay.
Having a lot of youth is exciting because you really don't know until you get these guys in here and start to work with them. But I do think we've got some talented players to work with, and we'll see what they can handle.
Next up for Van Ness and Company is the organized team activities, which begins on May 22nd.
Throwing in one more sports story here, too, as well. The Milwaukee Admirals advancing this weekend to the next round of the Calder Cup playoffs after a thrilling last-second victory Saturday night, UWM Panther Arena, in a moment full of Wisconsin Morning News vibes.
The Admirals 2-on-1. Sanford, right circle. Backhand. Score! Spencer Stasny! Spencer Stasny scores with 26.8 to go. Spencer Stasny in his hometown.
AHL TV with the call. Admirals win 2-1, advance in the Calder Cup playoffs in his hometown, he said. Because Spencer Stasny grew up in Mequon. Family's still all here, and we know because he shared his story with us. He was a guest on Wisconsin's Morning News back in February.
You know, there's a
trend
trend
every
brewing.
day here, and it's awesome being back home. So I'm enjoying everything. The group is awesome, the team, and I just love being in Wisconsin.
Yeah, you were mentioning, Eric, there's a theme at play here.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you come on the show, something good happens.
Once you become a friend of the program, life gets good for you in a hurry.
Right.
So nice job, young man. Ads advance. They're back on home ice Friday and Saturday against the Texas Stars, and the hometown kid doing good.
Score! Spencer Stasny! Spencer Stasny scores!
WTMJ's Steve Scafidi.
But you see what they've done here. It's more of the social justice crusade impacting how school education is conceived. I don't like it. Not a fan. You know what my takeaway from all this is? Hollywood is just effing weird. Do you have a behavior problem in this country? Absolutely. You have a parenting problem in this country? You bet. No phones in bedrooms. Works for adults, too. I've never had my phone in the bedroom. Nothing is that important. And I always say this, you're not that important.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on WTMJ.
Hey, if you need a new roof, Tri-County Contracting, they'd be proud to put one on for you, but maybe all you need is a little work to make your current roof last. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. A lot of snow and ice this winter. We've already had severe weather, dropping hail on our rooftops. Get Tri-County Contracting on top of your home this spring for a worry-free roof tune-up. It's just one price, $650. Doesn't matter how big your roof is. Full roof inspection, they'll replace missing or damaged shingles, they'll caulk and seal around vents and flashing, and it can extend the life of your roof and give you peace of mind. You want to call Tri-County Contracting for that worry-free roof tune-up today.
So if you're already in a relationship with an auto service center, that's great. We hope things keep firing on all cylinders.
But if you're not in a relationship, why not book your next date with us at Richlands the next time you're due for service?
All of our locations are AAA approved and staffed by ASC certified technicians with PhDs in
We can fix anything! Put that on top of the friendliest, hardest working staff you'll ever meet inside a tire and service center,
and you've got yourself a rock-solid date.
the next time you're due for factory scheduled maintenance,
Or tires, brakes, and suspension service.
book your date at richlawns.com.
Or just Google us. But remember, Richlands is spelled with 2 N's.
And oh yeah, be safe, buckle up, and hey,
Always make sure you have good tread on your tires. I'm Courtney Matchkey with Richlands, and you're due for a date.
clever.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Traffic is sponsored by Harwood Place Senior Living.
Learn more about Harwood Place Retirement Living's newly renovated apartments and updated pricing options at our May 10th open house. To RSVP or to schedule a tour, visit harwoodplace.org.
Let's check in on the roads here with Debbie Lazica.
All right, we're still looking pretty good across the area as far as any kind of delays are concerned. Volume is super light as well, so we are in good shape. I'm Debbie Lazica with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast from meteorologist Marissa Wallison. Not too nice today. She's got patchy fog, rainy, cloudy, and breezy with a high of 50. Mostly cloudy tonight, low down to 45. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday all look sunny, with temperatures in the low to mid-60s near Lake Michigan, low to mid-70s away from the lake, and then showers return on Friday with a high of 65 at the lake, 70 inland, right now 48 in Milwaukee. His Royal Highness the King has been crowned. The coronation this weekend.
It's officially over.
That's what it is.
Kind of. They've had the celebrations throughout the weekend. Now he gets to work after all that
pomp and pageantry.
Yes, the pomp and the pageantry. I don't know where to start. I guess we'll go with they had this big party last night. So Katy Perry among them celebrating. It's a huge crowd. Actually, the venue was really neat. Like, you had this huge area where people were performing this coronation concert. He sat on the coronation chair watching this coronation concert, having a coronation conversation with Queen.
And a coronation cocktail?
Yeah, what would be the coronation cocktail? So, yeah, so she was there. Lionel Richie was there.
Lionel Richie and Katy Perry among the headliners performing before 20,000 spectators bopping away on the grounds of Windsor Castle, with several dozen royals and dignitaries watching, smiling from the royal box. Prince William made a short speech praising his father and saying Charles's late mother, Queen Elizabeth, would be proud. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
In the background, they're really going to town there on that.
Well, it paints the picture. She said they were up in the royal box smiling and watching, like, look at all the commoners enjoying themselves. We throw quite a party.
It's funny you say that.
For the peasants.
So William actually addresses that a little bit. It was kind of, I don't know, a tad tacky.
Pa, we're all so proud of you. And I also want to express my pride and gratitude for the millions of people who serve in the forces, in classrooms, hospital wards, and local communities.
Okay. So everyone.
Right.
All you peasants, I'm very proud of
Right,
you
very
all.
proud of the rest of you.
Yes.
You lot.
So what stood out to me was, and you mentioned it earlier, it made me laugh, the giant crowns that they were wearing.
It looks cartoonish.
The king and queen both.
It just doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah,
I have to say, she has probably one of the worst postures for a royal. And then when they put the crown on her head and she's trying, I mean, first of all, she started fixing her hair and I'm like, don't touch it, don't touch it.
Right.
And then she gets up and is trying to walk without letting it fall off of her head. It was so funny.
What I thought was great, Debbie, was when the Archbishop is bringing the crown down to set onto King Charles's head. He had to like kind of force it and twist it on there. Like, sound a little bit like a cork right there. Yeah. See? All right, there it is. Now we got it there, sir.
All right. Yep.
So now the question is, though, like, was this too much? A lot of people actually said yes.
I just think the monarchy is really outdated. It's colonialist. It really doesn't represent the British values to me, you know.
So what do you do if you want to sound hip and with it and cool? Well, you go on American Idol, because that's what happened next. Since we saw Lionel Richie and Katy Perry there, well, what does that mean? Well, it means, of course, they're going to show up on American Idol.
Excuse me, I just, yes, I didn't. Surprise, I have a surprise.
Lionel Richie there.
It's all night long. No, we will not. Because I just wanted to check how long you'll be using this room for?
We have to
Hilarious.
Right away.
I just wanted to check.
Thank you so much for coming.
Just cringy there.
No, we're most in touch with the young people. We've been on American television.
Hold my scepter. Right. Debbie, what'd you like the most? Did you get up early and watch it Saturday morning?
I got up early, but I missed Charles's coronation. I got up and I started watching with Camilla's. So, so I'm going to go back and watch on YouTube because I wanted to watch it off of BBC America because they had the explanations and all that. But I thought, honestly, my take is that it was historic because it's probably not going to happen when Will ascends to the throne. I think it's going to be way more toned down. The people that wanted this to happen were of Charles's generation and before. Now the newer royals, I can't see them really going into something that deep.
Well, the one thing I can guarantee, you won't have Lionel.
Come on and sing it on, everybody.
News about your money this morning. WTMJ, keep it going. Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed Friday up more than 500 points to 33,674. NASDAQ up 269 points, closed at 12,235. And the S&P 500 ended trading at 4136 on Friday, up 75 points. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Get help now. Visit annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 48-ounce carton Cedar Crust Premium Ice Cream, $4.49. 14.01 to 33.5-ounce package Culinary Circle Pizza, 2 for $11. 24-ounce tub The Greek Gods Yogurt, 2 for $7. 5.87 to 18-ounce bag Frito-Lay Party Size Snacks, 2 for $9.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience from Century Foods. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 26th.
There's a race going on inside your body, and sometimes the bad guys, otherwise known as arthritis, get there first. That's when the joint pain kicks in.
Your healing process is just too slow and just can't catch up, and it needs just a little bit of help from QC Kinetics.
That's Dr. Daniel Zuckerman, a QC Kinetics medical director.
We all know that you can heal yourself. If you get a cut, it heals on its own. Your joints are no different. We can take the healing properties from your blood, concentrate them down, and put them in the spot that you need the help. It's amazing. Your body can heal itself.
At QC Kinetics, that's called regenerative medicine. No surgery or steroids, just lasting relief, the natural way.
The fact that we can treat them without surgery, but using their own body's natural healing process, without medications, without steroids, without surgery, it's just amazing.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
6:30 on Vince Vitrano, our top story. They're looking for suspects in Fond du Lac.
I'm Eric Bilstead, another fallen officer in rural Wisconsin.
I'm Brandon Snod. Willie hits number 100, and the Brewers finally get back on track.
I'm Debbie Loziga. Everything's looking clear, not seeing too many delays at all. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
High 50 degrees today, patchy fog, rainy and cloudy as well.
Investigators continue looking into the background of the suspect in the Texas mall shooting. Mauricio Garcia, accused of opening fire with an assault-style weapon at an outlet mall just north of Dallas over the weekend. 8 people were killed. ABC's Andrew Dimbert says, according to police, Garcia had expressed an interest in white supremacy.
Governor Greg Abbott responded yesterday to critics of the state's gun laws and pointed to the nation's mental health crisis. Sources say the suspect in Saturday's rampage was discharged from the Army in 2008 because of mental health concerns.
8 people killed in Brownsville, Texas, when a man rammed his SUV into a crowd waiting at a bus stop. Many of those who died were migrants. They're still investigating whether it was an accident or intentional. Protests in New York City over the weekend as a grand jury decides this week on possible charges in the chokehold death of a homeless man in the subway. Daniel Penny, a former Marine, has not been charged, but an autopsy does list homicide as the cause of death for the man. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, police in Fond du Lac are looking this morning for possibly 3 people involved in a shooting last night. TMJ4's Elaine Rojas Castillo is live in Fond du Lac.
Right now, police tell us that they're looking for 3 possible suspects who they say may have run off toward the fairgrounds after the shooting happened. Now, we told you that 1 woman did die in this shooting and 2 other victims, 2 men, are in critical condition. And this all happened here at Maplewood Commons, which is on Martin Avenue and East Pioneer Road, and that happened at about 7 o'clock last night.
Following tragedy in northwest Wisconsin from over the weekend, a sheriff's deputy in St. Croix County shot and killed.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice says Deputy Katie Leising was responding to a call of a suspected drunk driver in a ditch Saturday evening in the township of Glenwood. After refusing field sobriety tests, the suspect, later identified as Jeremiah Johnson, shot at Leising, striking and later killing her. Johnson then fled to a wooded area where he was found dead with a gunshot wound. This is now the 4th Wisconsin law enforcement officer to die in the line of duty this year, and nearly a month to the day, 2 officers were killed in Barron County. Patrick Kane, WTMJ News.
The date for a funeral has yet to be determined. However, Leising was brought to a funeral home in Baldwin on Sunday.
Not even old enough to drive. A 14-year-old and a 15-year-old are both in Milwaukee police custody following the reckless driving crash that involved a vehicle striking a school bus. 14-year-old boy is suspected to be the individual who was driving the stolen vehicle that crashed outside of Morse Middle School on the city's northwest side. 2 other teens also taken into custody last week. Police say they are still looking for at least one more suspect. Both an 11-year-old and 14-year-old were injured in that crash.
Drug overdoses in Grafton. 4 people at a home, including a woman who police say was later mauled by a dog. The woman now in critical condition, undergoing surgery from that dog attack. Another person is in grave condition and 2 others in stable condition. Now, Grafton police investigating, trying to determine how this group was able to get those drugs from a bar in Saukville.
Waukesha-based Generac Power Systems is agreeing to pay $15.8 million in fines for failing to report a product flaw that led consumers' fingers to being partially amputated or crushed. This, according to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, at least 5 incidents of finger injuries from October 2018 through 2020 caused by the unlocked handle of certain portable generators. U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission recalled 32 models of the company's DR 6,500-watt and 8,000-watt portable generators last summer. Generac did not immediately report the incidents and product defect to the commission.
Coming up, a helping hand. An NBA star helps a victim.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 634.
Join Trees on the Move this weekend from 9 to 4 for our annual Mother's Day sale with savings up to 30% on selected nursery stock. Maples, linden, birch, ornamental trees, flowering crab, and all varieties of evergreens. There's over 20,000 trees to choose from. Our landscape architects will be on hand to answer all of your patio, retaining wall, and backyard questions. Call 262-679-5200 for more info or see treesonthemove.com.
From planning to planting, Trees on the Move.
It's never too early to start teaching your kids about money. This year, help them take the first step toward a healthy financial future with a Junior Savers account from Town Bank. With a Junior Savers account, children earn interest on every dollar they deposit. Plus, they'll have access to activities and giveaways throughout the year. Show your children how rewarding saving can be and set them up for success with a Junior Savers account. To learn more, visit townbank.us.
No minimum required to open. Daily minimum balance of $200 required to avoid a $5 monthly maintenance fee once the Junior Savers turns 22. Member FDIC.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved, but here you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
At Semper Fi, the path to self-improvement never ends. It feels good to be good. It's been 20 years, and we'll make sure you feel like you made a great decision to have us work on your next exterior remodeling project.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:36.
Packers rookies report. How did the new guys do over the weekend? Brandon Snide has that in sports at 6:45.
Milwaukee County's Community Reintegration Center, formerly the House of Corrections, has been struggling to maintain staffing.
According to an April report, the facility says they hired 87 new staff members but lost 95 in 2022. That's a 55% staff turnover rate. That same report identifies lower pay compared to neighboring counties and the difficulty of the job as key factors driving the rate. The center's superintendent, Chantel Jewell, says her staff is, quote, stretched thin, adding the center accepted fewer transfers from the Milwaukee County Jail in 2022 than in years prior in response to the shortage. Patrick Kane, WTMJ News.
A major component in the reimagination of the former Grand Avenue Mall is doing pretty well.
Editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, Mark Cass, says the 3rd Street Market Hall has reached full capacity, with all vendor stalls now filled.
It's become almost an incubator for small restaurants to start,
to spend some time there to draw in their fans, to create a customer base, and then move out.
Cass adding that the food hall is attracting more activity at all times of the day, including more family-friendly features compared to the former Grand Avenue.
Come to the heart of downtown on a Sunday morning to have brunch in the Avenue. To me, that is a great example of the traffic it's added right to the heart of the city.
Jessica Gatzo, WTMJ News.
An NBA star helping a victim of gun violence.
Philly 76ers basketball star James Harden Sunday scored 42 points, made the winning shot against the Boston Celtics in overtime, then took off his sneakers, signed them, and gave them to John Howe, who with his parents were invited to the game by Harden. The shooting spree at Michigan State in February paralyzed the 20-year-old from the chest down. Harden learned that Howe was a fan of his and donated sneakers, money, and then called the student to offer encouragement. Howe says Harden taught him to keep strong. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:39. News is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. Retire well with Kowal.
During these uncertain times, there are a lot of added stressors on your plate, but your financial plan doesn't have to be one of them. Outsource your stress to us. Hi, I'm Aaron Kowal of Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. For more than 30 years, we have been helping our clients build a financial portfolio that can weather the storm, and we'd like to help you too. Our team of fiduciary advisors will walk you through our streamlined retirement process, answer your retirement questions, and stress test your financial plan to ensure that you can stay on track to your financial goals. At Kowal Investment Group, we care about you and your vision for retirement. You can trust us to guide you every step of the way. If you're close to or already in retirement and have $750,000 or more in retirement assets, give our office a call today at 262-522-4040. That's 262-522-4040, or visit thekowalway.com to schedule your complimentary, no-obligation retirement review.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law fights for those who fought for us. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied the VA benefits you're entitled to, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Checking on the roads here at 20 to 7. What do you have, Debbie?
Well, we got a crash on northbound 94 at Highway 142 in Kenosha County. They got cars on both shoulders, so just be careful as you're driving through there. Volume's super light, though, so you're not seeing delays per se. Just something you want to be careful with. And as a matter of fact, everywhere looks pretty good. The only spot where I'm seeing any kind of real delays is going to be on northbound 43, just north of Silver Spring. But everything else is looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
WTMJ 5-day forecast today. Rain showers and cool temperatures. We'll see a high close to 50 degrees. Tomorrow, back to some sunshine late in the day. A high of 61 by the lakefront, but inland spots low 70s. Wednesday, more sunshine. Highs in the mid-60s by the lakefront, mid-70s inland. Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs in the upper 60s by the lakefront and then upper 70s inland. Friday, showers return. High temperatures fall a bit and they'll be in the mid to upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Marissa Walls with the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Still at 48 degrees in Milwaukee. Who wants a hero story?
I do.
You do? Do you have one for us?
Yes, I have yourself an average superhero story to celebrate today. His name is Ron Nessman.
Yeah, what did Ron do?
He saved a flyaway stroller from rolling into...
Oh, that's the guy!
Yes. This happened in California. It was at a car wash. So here's my favorite part. The dude was dressed to the nines. He's been homeless. He's actually staying with his sister, dressed to the nines. He had a tie on and everything because he was going to a job interview. And his sister goes, "Hey, let's go get a car wash." He's like, I'm dressed nice. Can we just go get a job interview later?" And
right.
she's
Can,
like, no.
Can I figure this out first,
do this
please?
Now. No, let's do it now. So they do that now. All of a sudden, another woman with her kid in a stroller trips, struggles to get up, and you can see video of it. Stroller starts rolling toward a very busy street. Think like Highway 100.
Yeah, I bet you've seen this video. It's been all over for the last couple of days.
So he, at the last moment, sees this, runs. She's fallen to the ground. She's freaking out.
She couldn't get up.
Yeah, you know, that moment of panic had set in. So he ran and was able to stop the stroller from going into the busy street.
I noticed the stroller was going towards traffic, and I instinctively ran towards the stroller and got it before it went into the traffic.
Yeah, he did. So he was able to get it. He brings it back. He gives her a hug immediately. You can see it in the video because she is just in panic. Like, I can't imagine the sounds that would be coming out of my mouth
as you're watching your baby in the stroller roll toward traffic and you can't get there.
So here's the great update on this. If you've seen this and we're like, oh yeah, I saw that video. The update is he's got himself a job.
You bet
now.
he does.
Applebee's hired him. He was down on his luck, was struggling there. Like I said, he was homeless, staying at his sister's house. And Applebee's hired him, and they quickly said, hey, by the way, we didn't hire him because he's a hero. We hired him because he was good at his job.
Right. So that's where he had the interview? Was that it? For that day?
So it was pretty cool, though. Applebee's like, yeah, we're super proud of him. But, like, he was going to get the job regardless, which is kind of cool. So it's not that this isn't some pandering to get attention. Applebee's had already pulled the trigger that they were going to bring him in.
Also, I hope a lot of people go to that Applebee's and tip the hell out of this guy.
Absolutely.
Nice job, Ron.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Garage door broke. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Need a new garage door. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new CHI maintenance-free garage door. In fact, a recent study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%, ranking #1 among all home improvement projects. To see our huge selection of doors, come visit us at our Brookfield location or view our online showroom at geistdoors.com. We have everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, call Geis at 262-784-4250 or visit us online at geistdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Brandon Snide.
It has been 8 days since the Milwaukee Brewers last won a baseball game, and thanks to some timely hitting, the Crew got back in the win column Sunday afternoon as they defeat the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 7-3. The Brewers conclude their 6-game road trip, going 1-5, and they are back home tonight to host the Los Angeles Dodgers. That first pitch is set for 6:40. Freddie Peralta is slated to get the start. The NBA playoffs resumed on Sunday as both the Philadelphia 76ers and Phoenix Suns both even things up in their respective series at 2 games apiece. Round 2 tips back off tonight with Knicks and Miami at 6:30, followed by the Lakers and Warriors at 9 p.m.
It's time for Extra Points, a sports opinion commentary on Wisconsin's morning news. Here's Brendan Snide.
It has been roughly 12 days or so since we witnessed an embarrassing and shocking loss for the Milwaukee Bucks in round 1 to the Miami Heat. I don't know about you, but watching these NBA playoffs have been pretty painful since the Bucks bowed out way too early from what our expectations were. Since that loss, the Bucks have fired their head coach Mike Budenholzer after 5 seasons, and now the organization is at a very, very serious crossroads with many of its core pieces. Aside from the question marks at the roster, the team and general manager John Horst must absolutely, without question, without fail, nail this head coach search. They have to get it right for Giannis, for Milwaukee, for the future. I get the questions about who can or who will surround Giannis on the court, but if coaching wasn't a glaring issue this postseason for you, please do yourself a favor and watch it again, as painful as it will be. This team must find the right fit, and they must figure out a new direction for the organization before free agency starts. You want to get ahead of the curve here if you're the Milwaukee Bucks. Believe it or not, Giannis will be turning 29 years old during this upcoming season, and that faint sound you hear in the background, well, that sound is the championship window starting to slowly close, believe it or not. Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez, probably likely gone before next season. Joe Ingles, Jake Crowder, Wes Matthews, well, we tried, but thanks anyway. To no surprise, the chatter has already began on the national stage surrounding Giannis and what some, quote, quote-unquote experts predict will be his split from the Cream City. Regardless of all that noise, regardless of all those questions, the urgency to fix this mess is at an all-time high for the Bucks, and the hunt for parade number 2 begins this offseason with a new head coach. If they don't get it right, if they don't figure it out, the future in Milwaukee could become very, very, unfortunately, complicated.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 1. Creative Planning is a wealth management firm that believes in a total approach to building wealth that includes taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other personalized elements. This approach allows you to receive advice that is aligned with your unique goals and always in your best interests. Why not give your wealth a second look? Visit creativeplanning.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. Been playing sports my whole life. Been hurt lots of times, but never really felt I was injured until I had to stop doing the sports I enjoyed because my knee just wouldn't allow it. See my victory this weekend, Eric?
I did. What would you?
Yes.
You shot a 66?
Well, not me by myself. This was a two-man scramble.
Okay,
I teamed up with, Kristen Kershane over on TMJ4.
Yeah.
Her husband, Brad. He and I.
So he's a really good golfer?
Big, yes. Brad carried the load, no question. But I had a torn meniscus in my knee a few years ago. I am now all fixed up thanks to Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It was to the point where, man, my knee by the back nine was just howling. I like to walk, and I like to carry my own bag, and I flat couldn't do it anymore. So every time, regardless of whether it's a win or the worst round of my life, I'm always grateful for the pain-free walk. And I couldn't have done it without Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. They will fix you up like they did me. I recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin to anyone. Visit them at orthowisconsin.com.
All Brewers games are on sale now. Next up, the Crew battles the Royals for a weekend duel. Friday, May 12th through Sunday, the 14th. Fulfill your Jedi destiny at Star Wars Night on Saturday, the 13th. And receive a Luke Skywalker bobblehead with purchase of a special ticket package. Plus, take home a one-of-a-kind Brewers wristlet for 10,000 moms on Mother's Day. Sunday, May 14th. Presented by American Family Insurance. Get your seats today at brewers.com/promotions.
Inflation isn't going away anytime soon. As the cost of everything from food to vacations to your electric bill rises, you may wonder if your retirement plans are still on track. Annex Wealth Management can help. It starts at annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button. From there, our in-house planning team will create your wealth metric, a snapshot of where you are and where you're headed. Wealth Metric will help you understand the impact inflation may have on your plans. Get started today. Visit annexwealth.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Checking on the roads here with Debbie Lazago. Boy, I've been watching the radar, Deb, and there's like this blob of light rain that wants to move into southeast Wisconsin, but for the most part hasn't. Maybe a little bit out in Walworth County and parts of western Waukesha County, but dry roads for the most part in the metro.
Yeah. Quick, everyone, grab your hair dryers, blow it out the western window. That'll blow it away. There we go.
Keep it at bay.
Exactly. For the most part, the roadways are looking pretty good. We do have one accident on 94 northbound in Kenosha County, right at Highway 142. Got cars on either shoulder, so just watch out for that. But otherwise, our travel times are looking great across the entire system. I'm not seeing any kind of delays anywhere else, really. And don't forget, while you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast sponsored by Dave Dre Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. Not real nice today, but we pick it up midweek. Today, patchy fog, rainy, cloudy, breezy, high of 50. Mostly cloudy tonight and a low down to 45. And then we've got sunshine Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Each day temperatures in the low to mid 60s if you're close to Lake Michigan, mid to upper 70s away from the lake. And then showers return on Friday with a high of 70 degrees inland, bit cooler near Lake Michigan. Right now at 48 in Milwaukee. At 6:52 on Wisconsin's Morning News, our teammate from 101.7 The Truth, Telly Hughes, in the house on this Monday morning. What's up, man?
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Boy, Mondays. Whew.
No,
Early.
no good.
No,
good?
actually, I'm excited. I'm excited for this week. Big weekend, and we were talking, I know, back and forth, Vince, about some of the things that you do as far as hosting and things like that. And I had a couple events, and they all went well. So nothing to report, nothing crazy about that.
No jokes bombed on you?
No, it was. Well, when there's alcohol involved, you could get away with even some corny jokes because people are like, oh, they all sauced up by that time.
Well, one of them didn't have alcohol involved. It was at Vincent High School.
That is correct.
I just want to make sure I'm clear on that.
I was speaking of the Kentucky
Telly
Derby.
was bombed. Hey, kids, stay at school.
That was the easy part. That was a Jeopardy-style deal and just reading the questions off. So that was really cool. But I also hosted the 5th annual AKA Day at the Derby at Silver Springs Country Club yesterday, and Saturday, and that was really cool. They had horses and things like that. It was a sold-out event, so that was really cool. But I think the coolest thing I saw this weekend, guys, was James Harden last night during their Game 4 win over the Boston Celtics. He invited a Michigan State student, one of the shooting victim survivors, and he invited him to the game, and he ends up scoring 42 points and hitting the game-winning three-pointer basically, and invited him down to the court and signed his shoes, gave it to him. I really thought that was one of the many great gestures these NBA players and professional athletes, a lot of times they get bad raps and you only hear about the bad things that they're doing.
They're cast as villains.
Yes, absolutely. But for him to show that human side, he didn't go to Michigan State. He didn't have any connection to Michigan State or this student/fan, but he heard that he was a big fan of his, and he invited him up personally and waited until the playoffs. This happened a while ago. So for him to wait until Game 4 of the second round of the playoffs, I thought that was really cool of James Harden.
Of the playoffs, we're not in, just incidentally.
Yes,
right.
Dang. It's hard to not say that, right?
Got to find some other storylines, right, to get
Right.
interested, but that's definitely one of them. You've been around athletes a lot. I mean, all your work with the Brewers over the years and the Bucks. I think you're right. For these guys, this is something that I saw when I was really young, working at Green Bay Packers training camp in Green Bay. I'm in college, and so I was around the guys in a way behind the scenes that a lot of folks don't get to notice. And back in the day, they were a little bit more accessible during training camp around Lambeau Field because they literally walked from the facility down to the practice thing, and I'm not sure if they still do that a lot.
I think they still ride a bike.
Ride the bikes and stuff like that. It was so much more organic, right? It was less corporatized. It wasn't sponsored. Dudes just rode kids' bikes.
Yeah.
But one thing I noticed as a young person was it took so little to mean so much to a kid or even a fan for those guys to have that impact because they were so elevated.
Yes, absolutely. And most often the guys that do those things, they don't want the publicity. So you don't hear about it. But and not to say that it's a bad thing if somebody wants attention or a camera to come and cover an event. But a lot of times, a lot of philanthropic things that these athletes do, you just don't hear about them, and it's by design.
Eric gave me the nod, like, yes,
I thought,
very well, sir.
I thought you were taking it. My apologies.
I think you're right on that. But back to the thing that you were talking about before. Sometimes athletes get slammed, or anybody in the public eye, if they're at an event and they're like, promoting it out and saying I was at this, and sometimes I've heard back like, well, you should just be doing this because you love the event or whatever.
Exactly.
But their ability through their platforms, I usually defend that because it's like, okay, but an athlete posting something that they've done in connection with an organization on a social media platform puts that organization on a whole other plane. It allows that. So there's a fine line between wanting to pat yourself on the back, but also wanting to provide more exposure.
Exactly. And sometimes, like you said, it is a thin line, but when you know where your heart is, it really doesn't matter, because if you're doing it based off of what you want to do, not because of the exposure, then it will show.
I appreciate people knowing that they have a window. Some windows are open longer than others, but they have a window when they can do something big or small.
Right.
And change someone's life.
And it matters.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Telly Hughes, our teammate from 101.7 The Truth. Look forward to seeing you always here on this Monday slot.
Yeah, that's right. All right, I'm heading back to my real job, I guess.
It's a short walk. 6:57 business headlines are sponsored by Old National Bank. Get old. Here's the Milwaukee Business Journal's Sari Lesk.
Clarios International completes financial transactions to repay about $3.5 billion in loan borrowings. An initial public stock offering remains on hold indefinitely. The former Burger King outside Walmart in South Milwaukee is expected to become a Wendy's restaurant. Bridgman Foods signed a lease for the property on Chicago Avenue. And outgoing BMO Harris Bank CEO Dave Casper says Milwaukee remains an important market for the financial institution as it expands through its acquisition of Bank of the West. He said the bank's investment in Milwaukee would continue. I'm Sari Lesk with Milwaukee BusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Need a new bank for your small business? How about an old one? Now through June 30th, you can earn up to a $500 cash bonus when you open a free or basic business checking account with Old National. So think big when it comes to your small business and choose a bank where relationships and results matter. Visit a local branch or apply at oldnational.com/success today. Complete qualifying activities within 60 days of account opening. $50 minimum initial deposit required. Account must remain open 120 days. Member FDIC. Old National Bank. Get old.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
May is here, and as a Wisconsinite, you know that marks the start of sun, warmth, and joy. So when the rubber meets the road, you better be ready for the changing weather and the adventures that may lie ahead. This is Jim Griffin. Don't worry whether you are a new or existing customer on the north, west, or south side of town. You are as welcome as the flowers in May. We have you covered with the marvelous service specials. We'll change your oil, inspect and rotate your tires, check the battery and air filter, give it a complete multi-point inspection, check your AC or your heat, and even change your wiper blades, all for $129.95. During the month of May, don't let your vehicle's safety and changing weather compromise your adventures. Be ready for the roads. As much confidence and peace of mind as possible when you take advantage of the marvelous service specials good at all 5 Griffin dealerships.
What's better than the look and feel of real leather? The amazing prices at Steinhafels.
Oh, I get it. They're good at dodging baseballs. Like this.
Throw back to third. It goes over the head of the third baseman Davis and into left field. Taylor will score. Weimer gets to third.
The Brewers take on the Dodgers with coverage starting tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
7 o'clock, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Monday, May 8th. Our top story, a triple shooting in Fond du Lac.
I'm Eric Bilstead, a deputy killed in St. Croix County.
I'm Brandon Snide. The Brewers do something they haven't done all week.
I'm Debbie Lazago. We do have a crash on northbound 94 in Kenosha County, right at Highway 142. Cars on either shoulder. Just watch out for that as you're coming in. Other than that, everything else seems to be moving along fine. Not seeing any other delays. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Not a real nice day today. High of just 50 degrees with patchy fog, rainy conditions as well, and cloudy. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low down to 45. Our temperature right now in Milwaukee is 48 degrees. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center this morning, police in Fond du Lac still looking for up to 3 suspects who may have been involved in a shooting last night. TMJ4's Elaine Rojas Castillo is there.
Right now, police tell us that they're looking for 3 possible suspects who they say may have run off toward the fairgrounds after the shooting happened. Now, we told you that 1 woman did die in this shooting and 2 other victims, 2 men, are in critical condition. And this all happened here at Maplewood Commons, which is on Martin Avenue and East Pioneer Road, and that happened at about 7 o'clock last night.
Over the weekend, tragedy in northwest Wisconsin. A sheriff's deputy in St. Croix County shot and killed in the line of duty.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice says Deputy Katie Leising was responding to a call of a suspected drunk driver in a ditch Saturday evening in the township of Glenwood. After refusing field sobriety tests, the suspect, later identified as Jeremiah Johnson, shot at Leising, striking and later killing her. Johnson then fled to a wooded area where he was found dead with a gunshot wound. This is now the fourth Wisconsin law enforcement officer to die in the line of duty this year, and nearly a month to the day, 2 officers were killed in Barron County. Patrick Kane, WTMJ News.
Now, the shooting in Glenwood, part of a disturbing trend in the state, which has seen the highest number of law enforcement agents killed in the line of duty in more than 20 years.
The motive in the mass shooting Texas Mall is still under investigation. Authorities looking closely at the accused gunman's social media. ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gutman has more from Allen, Texas.
And eyewitnesses tell me that the scene itself was so grisly that first responders were hyperventilating and were sick. Now, authorities have been poring over the suspect's history, finding that he was discharged from the Army in 2008 over mental health concerns. His social media posts filled with neo-Nazi and white supremacist material.
The death toll in Sunday's deadly crash at a Texas bus stop near the southern border now reaching 8 after a vehicle plowed into more than a dozen people there, some of them migrants. ABC's Lindsay Watts.
Candles and flowers mark the spot where an SUV hit and killed 8 people at a bus stop in Brownsville, Texas, as authorities investigate whether the crash was an accident or intentional. Some of the victims were migrants who had just left a shelter that helps the homeless and people who cross the border. A witness says the driver was yelling insults before accelerating towards the group.
The driver is in custody, has been charged with reckless driving. Other charges remain possible.
Around here, as the weather gets warmer, violence tends to increase in Milwaukee, a trend already appearing this year. Community activist Vaughn Mays telling TMJ4 News.
We have to have things in place to be more preventative and interruptive versus reactive to what we saw. Just being that voice sometimes and that voice of reason.
Mays and leaders like County Board Supervisor Caroline Gomez-Tom want to see better gun education. They also say they hope to initiate more organized community and youth events this summer.
Coming up, a reason to be wary when buying those Mother's Day flowers.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:05.
Live life to the fullest. Hey, you hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain, right? Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. QC Kinetics gives people all around Milwaukee their quality of life by providing much-needed relief for chronic joint pain, and not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible, using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. So where is your joint pain? In your knees, your hips, shoulders, maybe your back? Well, QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them the most. No surgery, no downtime, no steroids or harmful drugs. And patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Well, finally being able to exercise or walk the dog, maybe enjoying time with the family, or just working your job. Whatever it is, don't wait another day. Call QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Give them a call. 414-285-3474.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, especially when it comes to gardening. Right now, get unbeatable deals on supplies to support your backyard bounty. Like $90 instant savings on 13-inch DeWalt trimmer and blower combo kits. Shop our selection of live flowers and plants in our outdoor garden center, now open at most locations. And indoors, save $30 on select water softeners by Addy Water Systems. Shop us in-store or online at farmandfleet.com.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Burghardt.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:07.
Brewers back home tonight after a brutal road trip that did end on a high note. Brandon Snyder has sports at 7:15.
Decision Wisconsin, the first Republican presidential primary debate set to be held in Milwaukee this August, but the front-runner, former President Donald Trump, may not attend. NBC's Meet the Press host Chuck Todd tells TMJ4 News that the former president has no real advantage to debate.
Look, we do know Donald Trump doesn't want to be too far away from that TV screen. My guess is this. He's definitely not doing the first debate. And I think this is a little bit of him as a power play going, let's see how your debates go when I'm not there. I think he probably doesn't need to do any of the debates as long as he's the front runner.
Former Governor Scott Walker, whose organization he works for, is tied to that debate in Milwaukee. He says the former president needs to win more of the 18 to 29-year-old voters.
A local school board is going to have another election for leadership positions among its ranks after results from last month's election were questioned. The Whitnall School District found that the election for board president, vice president, treasurer, and clerk were reported inaccurately. An unnamed employee has since been fired after investigation following the video of the meeting surfaced showing a woman handing out and counting secret ballots during that process. To correct the irregularities, the board plans to conduct another reorganization at its meeting this evening. So this isn't a matter of vote fraud electing people to these positions. This is once you have the elected school board, they vote among their own ranks.
Who's going to be president?
Is Eric going to be president or whatever? And there were some shenanigans that went on during that, so they're going to have a do-over.
With Mother's Day this upcoming weekend, be careful not to get scammed when ordering those flowers.
Really, they're listing either fake businesses online or they're misrepresenting their actual location.
Michelle Ryden from the Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection warns to avoid red flags when ordering flowers.
You want to make sure they have a local address, a brick-and-mortar presence, a local telephone exchange that you can engage with.
Ryden suggests asking specific questions about flower deliveries and doing your research to find a flower source that's local to your mom's community. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News time is 7:09.
This report is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. SidingUnlimited.com.
Integrity. Your home's integrity depends on the roof, on the windows and doors, on the siding. When your home's integrity fails you, you need the people who won't. Siding Unlimited. The dad started a siding company, called it Siding Unlimited, brought up sons Eric and Aaron Brown to be trustworthy, to value their own integrity, and after college to take over the Siding Unlimited biz. The boys expanded Siding Unlimited beyond siding to windows and doors, roofs and decks. Your home's integrity factors. Now you can buy those things from lots of people, but I wouldn't. I value the integrity of Eric, Aaron, and the talented American craftsmen that are the Siding Unlimited team. And I'm not just their spokesman. I'm a Siding Unlimited customer. Reliable, truthful, talented, and trustworthy. Winners of many industry awards and customer accolades. They are SidingUnlimited.com.
Announcing Sendik's Brag and Burger Battle. Submit your burger recipe on Sendik's.com for a chance at a $500 Sendik's gift card and have your burger sold at Sendik's for Father's Day.
Traffic is sponsored by Sendik's Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926. What do you have, Deb?
Well, so far, so good. We do have this accident, 94 northbound in Kenosha County. Highway 142 has cars on both shoulders right now. But for the most part, everywhere else seems to be looking pretty good. I'm not seeing any delays along 41 or 43. And east and westbound 94 are pretty much at standard speeds. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ 5-day forecast. Rain showers today, especially throughout this morning, with a few more into this afternoon. We'll see a high of 50 degrees. Drying out tonight, mostly cloudy. We fall to 45. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, up to 61 by the lakefront. Inland spots, low 70s. Wednesday, mostly sunny, mid-60s by the lakefront, mid-70s inland. Thursday, mostly sunny, upper 60s by the lakefront, upper 70s inland. And on Friday, rain showers return with highs back in the mid to upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Marissa Walls with the Storm Team Forecast on WTMJ.
48 degrees, our temp in Milwaukee.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's your host, Vince Vitrano.
Wonder where folks come down on which is the greater compliment. Get to that in a moment, but this bit has been floating around on the internets. Actress Gwyneth Paltrow doing a podcast with Alex Cooper. The podcast is called Call Her Daddy. Paltrow dated at different times in her life. She was with Brad Pitt for quite some time, whom she, I believe, still refers to as the love of her life, right?
Yes, they had a good thing going there.
Good
for a
thing
bit.
going. And then dated Ben Affleck for a while, whom she has good things to say about, but was not her true love. But this podcaster, Alex Cooper, is trying to get her to dish.
Brad or Ben? It'll be fun. Okay.
Brad.
No. I didn't even ask a question.
Oh, I thought that was the question. Brad or Ben?
He was ready to go. Right, sorry, Ben. Like, quick answer. Brad or Ben? Brad or Ben what? Doesn't matter. It's Brad. But she then proceeds to ask what her game was going to be is for this, Brad or Ben. Better cook, Brad or Ben. Better this, better that. Well, she gets right into the dirt here.
Who was a better kisser?
Oh my God, let me think. Gosh, I have to remember so far back. They were both good kissers.
Okay.
Ooh, nobody wants to cop out on that
come
one.
on,
right?
don't be political.
It's going to be they're both great at everything. That's not interesting. Not to worry, because she was ready to jump right back in when asked the follow-up question.
Who was better in bed?
That's really hard. That is really hard because, like, Brad was like the sort of major chemistry love of your life kind of like at the time, you know? And then, like, Ben was, like, technically excellent.
What does that mean?
I like that compliment.
That's a compliment, right?
I think so. I think Ben has to feel pretty good about that one. This may not have been the love of my life, but this cat was real good at what he was doing.
Oh, boy. All right.
So if I had to pick between the compliments, that would be it. Love of your life, that's a chemistry thing. It just happens to you. It's almost kind of out of your hands, right? If you believe in love, it's just, I can't help who I love or how we feel. It just happens, right?
Yeah.
The lightning bolt has come out of the sky and we are in love and the chemistry and all that.
This is true.
Technically excellent is a transferable skill. All right? That means you're good at something, and that can carry over to any relationship.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Right? Am I wrong on that?
No, I'd say you're right on the money.
So if you're going for a compliment from an ex, no less.
Technically excellent's the one you want?
That guy knew what he was doing.
Technically excellent.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley are thrilled with their brand new Pella patio door.
It's like having a brand new kitchen. It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing, and it makes it comfortable for the life we live, which is an active one.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside.
For the first time, our whole house actually feels like the same climate.
No drafts. I don't have to have any of those extendo cornhole bags anymore. It's a game changer.
I'm Gina Della from Pella, and if you order today, get 0% interest for up to 48 months. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we strive to always give the best possible quality of service. Our experts provide an in-home consultation where they'll listen to your needs and help choose the perfect products for your home, which can be customized to fit any decor. The installation is completed in as little as a day with no mess and no hassle, leaving nothing but perfect results. Order today and get 0% interest for up to 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends 5/31/2023.
Ask your advisor, are you 100% fee only for 100% of your clients 100% of the time? If they answer no, get a second opinion.
Financial strategies, what's the way to build your wealth?
FinancialStrategiesInc.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Brandon Snide.
It has been 8 days since the Brewers last won a baseball game, and thanks to some timely hitting from Christian Yelich and some speed on the bases, the Brewers finally got back in the win column Sunday afternoon.
2-1 to Yelich. Lined into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Weimer's going to be sent home. Here comes the throw home. Weimer slides, and he is safe.
Safe indeed. Lane Grindle on the call right here on WTMJ as Yelich helped bring him home. And the Brewers go on to win 7-3 in San Francisco to secure their 19th victory of the year. They are currently 19-15 in the standings. The Brewers are back home tonight. Freddie Peralta is slated to get the start with a 6:40 first pitch. You can tune in right here on WTMJ, your home of the Milwaukee Brewers, beginning at 6:05. Over to the NFL, where the Packers rookies descended upon Green Bay over the weekend for a minicamp to break in their NFL debuts. First-rounder Lucas Van Ness among the fresh faces looking to soak it in and take it all one step at a time.
For me, I just want to come in and learn as much as possible about the system and what it means to be a professional. As I mentioned before, this is a whole brand new learning curve for me. Getting used to, playing football but not having to manage school and all the traditional things I had to manage as a student athlete.
The Packers selected 13 rookies in last week's NFL draft, and head coach Matt LaFleur is looking forward to coaching up Van Ness and all the youth movement that is currently happening in Green Bay.
Having a lot of youth is exciting because you really don't know until you get these guys in here and start to work with them. But I do think we've got some talented players to work with, and we'll see what they can handle.
Next up for Van Ness and company is the organized team activities, which begins on May 22nd. And finally, over to the NBA, where the playoffs resumed on Sunday afternoon as both the Philadelphia 76ers and the Phoenix Suns even things up in their respective series at 2 games apiece. Round 2 tips back off tonight with the Knicks and Miami at 6:30, followed by the Lakers and Warriors at 9 p.m.
7:18 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Every hour.
On top of breaking news, near the border of Milwaukee and Greenfield on the south side, reports of shots fired outside a hotel.
Every day.
Free school lunches, family leave, and funding for the American Family Field are among the hundreds of cuts Republicans in the Joint Finance Committee are making to Governor Evers' 2-year state budget.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
When the solutions, apparently, from the Dems are more government, more spending, smoke more weed, yeah, our approaches are going to be different.
News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for LAK Group. At LAK Group, it's their mission to help people discover everything they are capable of. And they help companies find a more profitable future by showing their people how to be better leaders. They've got a proven leadership development track record. LAK Group believes that when people are more accomplished, more focused, more productive, the possibilities are infinite. Discover how LAK can help you or your company. Visit transformingcareers.com. LAK Group, discover your human advantage.
If you're a veteran, on active duty, reserve, or a military spouse, this is your wake-up call. It's time for basic training to be an entrepreneur. If you've ever wanted to own your own business, the Veterans Business Outreach Center is here for you. Get started today by texting the word VETERAN to 855-616-1620. The Veterans Business Outreach Center helps veterans of all eras. Just text VETERAN to 855-616-1620. The VBOC is an official program of the Small Business Administration and hosted by the Wisconsin Women's Business Initiative Corporation.
Checking on the roads here at 7:20 with Debbie Lazica. What do you have, Deb?
We've got this accident northbound 94 at Highway 142. It's right at the exit there, so just be careful with that. Cars on either shoulder. Other than that, for the most part, we're looking pretty good. Honestly, I'm not really seeing any delays right now. Volume's picking up as you might expect, but at this point, we're looking pretty good. So be our eyes on the roads. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazica with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
Storm team forecast, patchy fog, rainy, cloudy, and breezy today. Otherwise nice. High of 50 degrees. Mostly cloudy with a low down to 45 tonight. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we see sunshine. If you're close to the lake, temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Away from Lake Michigan, temps in the mid to even upper 70s by Thursday. Showers return on Friday. 70 degrees your inland high, 65 at the lake. And right now we're at 48 in Milwaukee. At 7:21 on Wisconsin's Morning News, it was a weekend of terrifying, tragic national news out of the state of Texas. There was the mass shooting at the outlet mall that left 8 people dead in Allen, Texas. And ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan is with us live from Dallas. That's not far from where that shooting played out. Jim, if I may, before we get to that, since you're in Texas this morning, we know 8 dead, others still hospitalized after a driver plowed through a crowded bus stop in the Texas border town of Brownsville. Anything new that you're hearing on that situation as they're still trying to work through a motive for the driver?
Yeah, the driver is in custody, Vince. He was hospitalized for a time because after the crash, he rolled that SUV, that Land Rover, and was taken to the hospital for observation to be checked up. But he is said to be not cooperating with the police now, who are investigating this incident that happened. The Range Rover slammed into this group of people who were sitting on a curb or standing on the sidewalk at a bus stop waiting for transit to get downtown to the main terminal there in Brownsville and then to go to other parts of the country. These are thought to be either mostly or exclusively immigrants who had come across the border, had processed in with immigrations and customs, and then were waiting for a bus to take them away. And when this car came crashing through.
Talking with ABC's Jim Ryan in Dallas. Let's move over to that shooting, not too far from you, right? Allen is not far from Dallas?
Allen is about 25 miles north of Dallas, in the next county to the north. It's one of these northern suburbs that have grown so fast in the last few years. 100,000 people live there now. It's next to Frisco, another one that has surpassed it. It's about 200,000. But this mall is right alongside the main highway that takes you north out of Dallas and up toward Oklahoma. And the shooting happened at Allen Premium Outlets early afternoon, late morning, when a man stepped out of a Dodge Charger and pulled out a rifle and started shooting, apparently indiscriminately, at people walking along the sidewalk. This is if you picture a strip shopping center, this is sort of like that, a massive strip shopping center, this outlet mall. 120 stores makes it one of the biggest in the area.
So what do we know about this shooter?
He had been in the military at one point. We're told only that 33-year-old Mauricio Garcia had been kicked out of the Army in 2008 because of what the military was calling mental health issues. Beyond that, he lived part of his time with his parents in Northwest Dallas, but also apparently had lived or was living in a long-term motel, a residential motel there in Dallas. Not even sure what he does for a living. Nobody has been able to figure that out, although neighbors say that he wears a security guard uniform or something that looks like a security guard uniform when he would leave for work.
Talking with ABC's Jim Ryan. He's in Dallas, Texas this morning. We're focused on the shooting there just north of Dallas, with 8 people dead, others still injured. So now we turn to an investigation in terms of motive, Jim. I know authorities are being careful, but they are allowing some information to come out about the background and possible ties to extremist groups among the gunmen.
Correct. Yeah, that's one thing that we've learned about this digital footprint that Mauricio Garcia left behind, that he had either harbored some sort of white supremacist views or at least was interested in those views. He had some sort of a patch on his tactical vest that he wore during the shooting that indicated either a connection to a white supremacist group or membership in some kind of group. But again, it appears that the shooting was random, that he wasn't picking out specific persons because of their race, their gender, anything at all, except that these people were shoppers walking along a sidewalk.
And the victims range in age too, right, Jim?
They do. There are children. There are adults. We know that the people who are hospitalized this morning range in age from 5 to 61. Some of those victims are still in critical condition this morning.
I asked this question with sensitivity here, Jim, but with white supremacy and hate crime possibly on the table, I have not seen a picture of the suspect, Mauricio Garcia, but his last name leads you to believe perhaps he is Hispanic if authorities said that. And that doesn't mean one way or another that that person can't also harbor those views, but I know it's been confusing for people.
Well, it is. I have seen a picture of him, and he appears to be Hispanic. But again, Garcia, the name Garcia can belong to just about anybody here in Texas. You know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so what his connection was to this white supremacy, and you're right, this kind of dichotomy or this paradox that they're looking at now. This may then play into some kind of mental health issue.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Boy, I wish we could talk more often in better circumstances, Jim. It seems like you and I have this conversation far too often.
Yeah, this was the second mass shooting in just a week here in Texas, Vince. And, yeah, it's a rotten situation.
I appreciate you being with us this morning. Jim Ryan from ABC News Live with us from Dallas. We have news about your money this morning in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average did close the week on a high note, up more than 500 points to 33,674. The NASDAQ up 270 points to 12,235. And the S&P 500 closed trading on Friday at 4136. That was up 75 points. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Get help now. Visit annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
RJ Schinner has several Toshiba copier printers from James Imaging Systems. IT manager Gabe Colasari.
The reason why for James Imaging is their responsiveness, dedication, knowledge of the product, and they always make sure that the customer is taken care of.
The kind of customer service you'd expect from a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed office technology company like James Imaging Systems.
We actually have a high-end printing machine on site, so we produce our own catalogs, so we need the support to handle that.
James Imaging Systems, better document imaging technology, better service.
When we got a problem, we're able to call in and get it rectified or corrected without any issues.
Gabe, any advice to other local businesses?
Contact James. I mean, they'll take care of you.
James Imaging Systems, reliable document imaging technology, extraordinary local service. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Let's take a minute of R&R. R&R Insurance, that is. R&R Insurance provides employee benefits to all of us here at Good Karma Brands. Business insurance is getting more complex these days. To share some knowledge about that is Jeff Salasinski, VP of Insurance Operations at R&R Insurance.
Hey, Vince. Today's commercial insurance market demands the sharp focus of your insurance advisor. Thousands of insurance agencies have sold or merged their businesses. The result? Your agent can become consumed with integration issues and adjusting to a new culture, preoccupied with systems and people issues that always come with that level of change. The impact this M&A has in your business can be disruptive, and they lose focus on you, the client.
So, Jeff, what's the solution?
With 48 years of stability, local family ownership, and deep industry knowledge, R&R Insurance will be focused on you, the client, not the progress and payout of an acquisition. And the best part? We're not for sale. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff. We are just coming up on 7:30. I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News for Monday, May 8th. Our top story, a triple shooting in Fond du Lac.
I'm Eric Bilstead. Tragedy in the northwestern portion of the state.
I'm Brandon Snod. Willie hits number 100, and the Brewers finally get back on track.
I'm Debbie Lazagar. Earlier accident on northbound 94 right at Highway 142. Just about all gone if it isn't already been cleared, so we're in good shape right now. We've got light volume, full freeway speeds. I'm Debbie Lazagar, your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
And don't forget, what I was trying to say is, Eric, you don't have to only listen, you can watch Wisconsin's Morning News. Just reminding everybody that we are streaming our video live on the internet, so you can get it on our app. You can watch it on the WTMJ YouTube page. It's on all our social channels, so you can look while you listen with the WTMJ video stream now active. I think we all look really sharp today, don't you?
Especially today.
Yes, especially. Patchy fog is your storm team forecast. It's rainy as well, cloudy and breezy. High of just 50 degrees, then mostly cloudy tonight with a low down to 45. Tuesday looks much better. Becoming sunny, high of 61 at the lake, 73 inland. Right now, 48.
Local and federal investigators begin the week searching for clues into the nation's latest mass shooting. 8 people shot and killed at an outlet mall north of Dallas. Jeannie Rupel was at the mall with a friend and watched the violence unfold.
I'm never going to unsee the little face of the daughter that passed away, or the little boy that survived and was covered in his parents' blood. I'm never going to unsee that in my mind.
The gunman, 33-year-old Mauricio Garcia, police say, had a history of posting on white supremacist websites. 8 people killed in Brownsville, Texas, when a driver plowed into several who were waiting at a bus stop. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on what would happen if the debt ceiling isn't raised in a few weeks.
We would simply not have enough cash to meet all of our obligations. And it's widely agreed that financial and economic chaos would ensue.
There's a meeting tomorrow at the White House between President Biden and the 4 top congressional leaders on it. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, police in Fond du Lac still looking this morning for up to 3 suspects who could have been involved in a shooting last night. TMJ4's Elaine Rojas Castillo is in Fond du Lac.
Right now, police tell us that they're looking for 3 possible suspects who they say may have run off toward the fairgrounds after the shooting happened. Now, We told you that one woman did die in this shooting and 2 other victims, 2 men, are in critical condition. And this all happened here at Maplewood Commons, which is on Martin Avenue and East Pioneer Road, and that happened at about 7 o'clock last night.
In northwestern Wisconsin, tragedy for a sheriff's deputy in St. Croix County shot and killed in the line of duty.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice says Deputy Katie Leising was responding to a call of a suspected drunk driver in a ditch Saturday evening in the township of Glenwood. After refusing field sobriety tests, the suspect, later identified as Jeremiah Johnson, shot at Leising, striking and later killing her. Johnson then fled to a wooded area where he was found dead with a gunshot wound. This is now the 4th Wisconsin law enforcement officer to die in the line of duty this year, and nearly a month to the day 2 officers were killed in Barron County. Patrick Kane, WTMJ News.
You likely saw that reckless driving video where a stolen car slammed into a school bus last week. Listen to the ages of the people who are involved in this. A 14-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl, both now in Milwaukee police custody following that crash. The 14-year-old suspected to be the person who was driving a stolen vehicle, crashed into a school bus outside Morse Middle School on the city's northwest side last week. 2 other teenagers had already previously been taken into custody. Police said they are still searching for one more suspect. Both an 11-year-old and 14-year-old boy were injured in that crash.
Police are investigating drug overdoses of 4 people at a home in Grafton. That includes a woman who police say was later mauled by a dog. The woman in critical condition following that dog attack. Another person said to be in grave condition. 2 others remain in stable condition following the drug overdose.
Waukesha-based Generac Power Systems, Inc. is agreeing to pay $15.8 million in fines for failing to report a product flaw. The flaw led to consumers' fingers being partially amputated or crushed. According to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, there were at least 5 incidents of finger injuries from October of 2018 through 2020. U.S. Consumer Product and Safety Commission recalled 32 models of the company's portable generators. Generac did not immediately report the incidents and product defect to the commission.
Coming up, making music with the earth.
News is sponsored by Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells, your grown-up getaway.
If you were offered a guaranteed cash prize, would you take the offer or would you risk it to possibly win more? It's Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells Take It or Leave It, where on May 27th, you could be chosen to play the Take It or Leave It game, where you could be one of several participants to have the opportunity to pick a case containing up to $100,000 in cash. It's the Take It or Leave It game, May 27th at Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells.
See Ho Chunk Gaming representative for more details.
A unique blend of jazz and rock vocal music that has been celebrated by generations. It's Blood, Sweat, and Tears, performing live Friday, July 7th, 8 p.m. at Ho Chunk Gaming.
You made me so.
Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster.
And when I die,
a renaissance of unbridled talent. It's Blood, Sweat, and Tears, July 7th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
Must be 21 to attend concert.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Differentiation Officer Brian Wickert reminding home shoppers that working with AccuNet is different and better than working with your bank. Most bank pre-approvals state they've only verified the potential home buyer's credit, but not their income or money for down payment. To us, that's just crazy. AccuNet's rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval tells the seller we've checked out all 3 aspects of your financial health, and that will pay $2,000 if our pre-approval is faulty. Banks don't do that, but they do have a lot of overhead with all their vice presidents and fancy branches. We keep overhead low, which means lower rates and closing costs that are typically $1,000 to $3,000 lower than banks. Most importantly, our loan consultants can show you and your agent how to improve your financing and appraisal contingencies so your offer has the best chance of winning in a multiple offer situation. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Click on the blue button today for your rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval. That's ACCUNET.com.
Milwaukee is as hard-working of a town as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. We won't stop fighting for you and your family. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:36.
I was waiting for something to happen there.
Dramatic pause.
Yes, it was. Brewers broadcaster Sophia Minert joins us as our guest on Brewers 360. That's coming up at 7:45. Milwaukee County Community Reintegration Center, formerly the House of Corrections, continues to struggle to maintain staffing levels.
According to an April report, the facility says they hired 87 new staff members but lost 95 in 2022. That's a 55% staff turnover rate. That same report identifies lower pay compared to neighboring counties and the difficulty of the job as key factors driving the rate. The center's superintendent, Chantel Jewell, says her staff is, quote, stretched thin, adding the center accepted fewer transfers from the Milwaukee County Jail in 2022 than in years prior in response to the shortage. Patrick Kane, WTMJ News.
The successor to the former Grand Avenue Mall is being considered by many a success.
Editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, Mark Cass, says the 3rd Street Market Hall has reached full capacity, with all vendor stalls now filled.
It's become almost an incubator for small restaurants to start, to spend some time there, to draw in their fans, to create a customer base, and then move out.
Cass adding that the food hall is attracting more activity at all times of the day, including more family-friendly features compared to the former Grand Avenue.
Come to the heart of downtown on a Sunday morning to have brunch in the Avenue. To me, that is a great example of the traffic it's added right to the heart of the city.
Jessica Gatzo, WTMJ News.
Yellowstone National Park will take center stage at a concert tomorrow as the composer.
British-based scientist Domenico Vicinanza has developed a computer program that turns seismic data from Yellowstone National Park into musical notes. And this is the result, the tremors beneath Yellowstone transcribed into music. Tomorrow, at a conference in Atlanta, Vicinanza will go one further. He'll be transmitting real-time data from seismographs at Yellowstone and projecting the corresponding musical notes onto a screen for a flute player to play live. Think of it as Planet Earth's, well, rock concert. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Hey, see what you did there? Rock concert.
I like that.
A little geology humor there for you.
Very good, Vicki.
So is it geology or is it AI? Which is it?
A mixture.
Strange times that we live in. 7:39 in Wisconsin's Morning News.
Dramatic pause.
Where's the cough then when I need it? News is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management's Money Talk. It's heard Saturdays at 10 right here on WTMJ.
Like it or not, you are a media-consuming machine, chased all day by headlines, texts, emails, on the TV, the computer, the phone, even your smartwatch. News about market volatility and uncertainty could lead to anxiety and planning paralysis. No surprise, Americans report increased stress about their investment and retirement plans. This isn't a time to be frozen in place. Take action. Put Annex Wealth Management on your side. Build a plan that will help cut through the noise. We'll provide comprehensive investment and retirement guidance that includes tax and estate planning. Let Annex do a deep dive on your portfolio. Offer unbiased advice with Wealth Metric and work to create a solid plan for you and your family. Turn down the media roar. Dial up the planning. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button. It only takes a couple of minutes, in person or online. It's time to take action and know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management. annexwealth.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Harwood Place Senior Living.
Learn more about Harwood Place Retirement Living's newly renovated apartments and updated pricing options at our May 10th open house. To RSVP or to schedule a tour, visit harwoodplace.org.
20 minutes before 8 o'clock. What do you have, Debbie?
Well, we've got some delays now and a cleared-up accident. 94 northbound, the one at Highway 142 in Kenosha County. That is all cleared out of the way. But we do have delays now. Eastbound 94 hitting the brakes just out of the Zubiter change all the way to about Hawley Road. The westbound side slow from 35th Street, or actually 27th Street into the Stadium interchange. Southbound 43, you're going to see the delays right around the Silver Spring area, basically from about Bender Road down past Silver Spring. And then east and westbound on the bypass, a little bit backed up, basically between Forest Home and the Mitchell. Just generally delayed areas through there. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ 5-day forecast, a gloomy start to the week. Plenty of rain showers across the area today and cool temperatures. We'll see highs close to 50 degrees. Rain showers then around dinner time tonight, mostly cloudy overnight with temperatures falling into the mid-40s. Tomorrow, clearing skies, looking at low 60s by the lakefront in the afternoon, but low 70s inland. Wednesday, mostly sunny, mid-60s by the lakefront and mid-70s inland. Thursday, mostly sunny, upper 60s by the lakefront and upper 70s inland. Friday, back to some rain showers with highs in the mid to upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Marissa Walls with the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Our temperature in Milwaukee holding at 48.
just wanna scream hello. By God, it's been so long, never dreamed you'd return.
7:42 on this Monday morning. You see Council get tossed again this weekend?
Yeah, that was intense.
I can't wait to ask Sophia about it. Brewers manager Craig Counsell he's already broken the record for a number of times a Brewers manager has been thrown out of a game. That happened earlier, so this is just now adding on to that total. Now, part of that is a longevity award.
Sure.
Because he's been our manager for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
But also from time to time, he'll get out there and get spicy with the umpires. He was totally right this time, which I think is maybe why they let him stay out there forever. But do you have that, Greg? Greg Pancake Hill, producer of the
Craig
program.
is getting fired up at the crew chief, Chris Guccione. And Craig Counsell just got ejected.
Listen to him go nuts out there. They loved it.
Again, this all stems from the initial first pitch as Quentin Berry is now arguing and Pat Murphy is coming out and now Connor Dawson, the hitting coach, is coming out. This has been handled so poorly by this umpiring crew.
And then right about then, Counsell even had his hat off, which doesn't happen.
Hey, man, they let
for
him
dramatic
stay.
effect.
He was out there for a long time. He was saying some things. I mean, you can read some lips there easy enough. Woo.
I think Counsell was right, but we'll get a take from Sophia Minert. She's our guest on Brewers 360 coming up next.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
What's the way to build your wealth?
If you want to be sure that you're getting financial planning advice you can trust, work with a fiduciary. A fiduciary should be someone who acts as a steward for you. It means they treat your assets as if they were their own, that they protect them as if they were their own, and that they try to grow them as if they were their own. Now you can take this for what it's worth, but I'm doing all I can to run a firm you can trust. That's why we're a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm that doesn't work for anyone but our clients and focuses only on their best interest. By being a steward, being a fiduciary to help our clients reach their financial goals. I'm Jim Cantrell, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, what's the way to build your wealth?
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
You can't beat Bernhard.
Now open in New Berlin.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Brandon Snide.
After losing 6 straight games, the Milwaukee Brewers found their way back to their winning ways, defeating the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 7-3 on Sunday afternoon. The Brewers conclude their 6-game road trip, going 1-5, and they are back home tonight looking for some home cooking against the Los Angeles Dodgers. That first pitch is all set for 6:40. Freddie Peralta is slated to get the start.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, and on Mondays, it's Sophia Minert back from this brutal road trip with a little bright spot here at the end. But Sophia, I wanted to first ask you about Saturday night, Craig Counsell getting tossed again in a really wild situation that played out there in San Francisco. First of all, I think Counsell was totally right, which is maybe why they let him stay out there.
He's
for
still
like
out there.
for like an hour and continue to argue his case.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a really odd situation and something that we've seen with the new rules. You get 2 disengagements, and basically the explanation from the umpires was that the second disengagement was negated by a mound visit. And then when he threw over to first base with Willie Adames at first base, everyone on the Brewers side assumed that was the 3rd disengagement, so that is an automatic balk, so Willie should have taken second base. That's what the first base umpire indicated. the home plate umpire said it was not, so that's where everything went wrong. And yeah, Craig was really upset about it because it was one of those gray areas of the rules, and the Brewers very much believed that it was a clear interpretation, and the umpire saw it differently. So that's kind of how those things go sometimes.
I think in terms of Counsell getting thrown out of more games than any other Brewers manager in history, I've said before, part of that's just longevity because he's been the manager for a long time. That said, I mean, when you meet Craig and you know him well, like when you're around him, he's like a really calm, casual dude. But here and there, when it's time to get feisty, he's not afraid to.
Well, yeah, I mean, and especially like in a competitive situation like that, it was a big spot in the game. Obviously, it was a tough stretch, so there's frustrations involved there. And I think more than anything, in a situation like that, like you just want to get it right. And so when you feel like there's miscommunication between the umpires or they're not interpreting the rule correctly, or you see it very much from like your perspective, then yeah, he's going to get fired up. Like he wants to win. He wants to like protect his players if it's about that. So yeah, Craig is always looking to win, and I think that's when you see like the competitiveness come out.
I did wonder about that, Sophia, the idea of maybe just trying to light a spark with the team or get the dugout going, just because obviously at that point they had been losing several games in a row, just to do something to shake up the normalcy.
I honestly think that's like an older thing, you know, like I really don't think there's anything to that, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, the players were very fired up about it because they also believed that what the umpires did was wrong. It seemed pretty clear to all of us, especially with the first base umpire like pointing the three with the three disengagements. So, but look, you know, the umpires are human too, and these are all new rules, and they're not perfect either. So. But yeah, I think that was something you saw more in the past. The whole like, you know, flip the spread and flip the tables and
throw the bats in the shower.
That's right.
Yeah,
scare them.
And do it and doing that to fire up your players. Like I think at this point, maybe sometimes that's the case, but that's never how Craig has operated, and that's just not who he is either.
Hey, last thing before we let you go. So Craig's our guest on Tuesdays. How much do you think he wants me to ask him about this again on Tuesday?
Less than zero.
A lot? No.
I think there are plenty of other things that you could talk to him about.
Well, wish me luck because I'm doing it.
All right.
Thanks, Sophia. Great to talk to you.
All right. Bye, guys.
7:49 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Mark Tauscher up next.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
I got no FOMO for your show, Mo.
See the world from his perspective.
The chutzpah on this guy to bring ribs onto the plate and then eat them. I can't think of anything worse.
On Wisconsin's Morning News. Every day at 7:50.
I like a little mayo on the brat.
Oh,
it's actually bad, though.
What are you, French?
Mark Tauscher on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by your Wisconsin Chevy dealers. Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Eric Billstead here with WTMJ's Wisconsin's Morning News for J.D. Griffiths. Is outside doing some yard work with the boys this past weekend, and at one point my boys finished wrapping up mowing the lawn, and I looked at him and I said, darn, those garage doors look good, don't they? And he said, you're right, Pop.
You're right, Pops. You sure made our house much better, Pop.
Because they do pop. J.D. Griffiths, yes, for more than 70 years, they've been Milwaukee's premier provider and builder of garage doors, and we got ours earlier this year. We went to the website, jdgriffiths.com, and we had our free at-home estimate. Ken came over, took a look at our door, said, hey, here's some ideas, gave us some options for customizing it, and away we went. A few weeks later, and now they're in and just looking great, especially as it starts to warm up and we're doing all that yard work. Just looks awesome there at the house. JDGriffiths.com is the website. And reminder, they don't just do new garage doors. You can also have them take a look at some servicing. They can service your existing garage doors, make sure they're working appropriately. And JD Griffiths, also your local custom detached garage builder. JDGriffiths.com is the website. Visit it today. JDGriffiths.com and schedule your free at-home estimate today.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's turbo high output engine, delivering impressive power with no compromised durability. Whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends, This is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlawn's Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlawns.com when you're due for service.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Let's get a check on the roads here with Debbie at 8 minutes before 8 o'clock.
All right, well, we got some delays out there for sure. We've got east and westbound 94 backing up a bit. Basically, eastbound is slow from 84th Street through the stadium. The westbound side slow from 27th and starts to let up right about at Mitchell Boulevard. We do have delays on northbound 4394 right around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. Southbound 43 is still going to be heavy, basically just south of Brown Deer Road, between Brown Deer and Good Hope. Starts to slow down, and then it lets up a little bit, only to slow down again from about Bender Road all the way down past Hampton Avenue. So heads up with that. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
Storm team forecast for today: patchy fog, rainy, cloudy, and breezy. High of 50 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight with a low down to 45. And then becoming sunny on Tuesday. High of 73 inland, 61 at the lake. The WTMJ forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. And we're at 48 degrees in Milwaukee.
Idea Man.
I signed up for biomolecular chemistry, like legitimately.
Innovator.
Music was always the class at Wisconsin. If you went into one of those big lecture halls and it was Michael LeCrone's class, you were going to see athletes everywhere.
And Packers Hall of Famer.
I'll say this, I'm still not very musical.
It's time for Tausch on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by your Wisconsin Chevy dealers.
Mark Tauscher on Wisconsin's Morning News, sponsored by your Southeastern Wisconsin Chevy dealers. So, Tausch, Eric's kids' baseball team, what are they, U13 you said?
U13, 7th grade.
Have themselves a mascot.
Ooh.
And I'm curious your take on this. Tell them about the mascot.
A living mascot. It's at every game. It sits in the dugout with them. They brought it out to the field after they won a game yesterday. And the living mascot is a goldfish that sits in a little aquarium on the dugout bench with the team as they bring good luck and bring fortune to their team.
Okay, so how did this start? And I got a myriad of questions.
Yes, all right, proceed with your question.
Because you're going to be on the road, a traveling team, you're probably going around to different tournaments.
That's true.
So is there a spot? Obviously, at home you have it, but it does get hot out. You don't want water boiling. I don't know how did it start. Like I got 100 questions here of understanding how a goldfish became part of your kid's baseball.
So the part about the temperature, it did survive through Saturday and Sunday. We had dramatic change in temperature on both of those days.
Yes,
so far, so good there. It's not floating yet.
You got to have like a 30-degree difference in water temperature, Tausch, don't you think? I mean, that's got to be an adaptation.
Yeah, I don't know. I think anyone that's coached little leaguers, you understand that there's always distractions and things that you're trying to keep focused, and now especially with YouTube shorts and all this other stuff, attention spans are dwindling by the minute. But I do love the idea. We had, our kids will emulate Major League Baseball players with Daddy's Home, and then I don't know, whatever this thing was back in the day. And I saw one, I think we talked about it on the show, the sprinkler, where if you get a double, you can look in and do like the sprinkler where the kids in the dugout will spit water to kind of mock the sense of a sprinkler on your lawn. So I love the concept of it. The Brewers obviously got the cheese head, but does a kid hit a home run and then go feed the fish? Does he carry it around like a crown? How does that work with the fish?
So a couple of things. So as I'm sure you know, sometimes when you're in a tournament, I know Brandon knows this for sure too, sometimes your games are not at the same, right after each other. Sometimes there's like a 4-hour gap. So I wasn't there when it happened, but what I'm told is During that 4-hour gap, coaches' parents and kids were all at a restaurant, and during that time they had like 3 hours to kill. Coaches and parents just kind of BS, and kids went to pet store, bought said goldfish, and then there it was for the rest of the tournament, and now it's theirs. As of now, I know that they've been like, there'll be kids sitting next to it with like their arms around it and stuff around the aquarium.
So awesome.
And they did bring it out yesterday onto the field.
And it's working. It's working. Yeah, you got to keep it going.
They're over 500 with the fish. So
well, just wait. Over 500 is considered working. Did they win the tournament? Because I think if it's one weekend and you end up finishing fifth, hey, great little deal. If you end up winning a championship, you have to bring the goldfish back.
Made it
but if you're taking like consolation championships, maybe keep the fish in a... I do like the idea.
Last year, Eric, you asked me the question last year. That was my Giannis. What? Nothing crickets on that, right? I thought that was a great.
That was your Giannis? That didn't get it. But I do wonder because I thought you wanted it because we have two goldfish, and these goldfish have survived at our house, and they're getting big. Because in the old days, what do you get 2 weeks out of a goldfish when you drop those balls at a festival?
Oh,
and you end up, what the hell am I doing with these goldfish? These goldfish, they have these things either genetically enhanced or they are all living to be long. It's no longer like a short lifespan for goldfish.
Well, so it's funny.
They're giving you 5 to 10 years.
One of the things that was brought up is should the best kid on that game's day, like that game's MVP, bring the goldfish home each night?
Yeah, and he has a little travel pack of food and snacks and whatever else.
So
where does the goldfish
go? It goes home with one of those.
The parents of the goldfish, the kid that has the game-winning interception, like, nah, you guys can keep that goldfish. But again, hey, if it's working, great. But after it's going to get hot. I worry about this goldfish's health. Going into like 90-degree temps in the dugout, but you guys feel like you got it under control.
Bring a cooler, maybe.
Oh, when you go out to lunch, somebody leaves them in the car. Right?
Yeah. Oh, shoot, who had the goldfish? Oh, he left behind 2 bats. Yeah. Oh, the other team. West Dallas just took the goldfish over because you guys left it in the dugout.
Right. Then you go on a brutal losing streak, never to win again.
Go buy another fish.
All right, well, keep us up to date.
Will do.
Thanks, Tausch. Talk tomorrow.
See you guys.
Business headlines are up next. Here's the Milwaukee Business Journal's Sari Lask.
Outgoing BMO Harris Bank CEO Dave Casper said the financial institution remains committed to investing in Milwaukee as it expands through its acquisition of Bank of the West. Casper's retiring this year and will be succeeded by Daryl Hackett, who leads the bank's wealth management business. Clarios International continues to hold off on an initial public stock offering. Meanwhile, the automotive battery maker completed financial transactions to repay about $3.5 billion in loan borrowings. And Bridgman Foods plans to turn the former Burger King property on Chicago Avenue in South Milwaukee into a Wendy's restaurant. Burger King vacated the site in September. I'm Sari Lask with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a 6-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
I don't want to go to bed at night dreading waking up in the morning knowing that I'm going to feel like a rusty lawn chair getting out of bed and getting opened up and not being able to really move for a couple hours really throughout the day.
For former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter and those dealing with daily aches and pains, QC Kinetics regenerative pain treatments are a game changer, providing long-lasting relief.
Go into a specific joint, a specific region, and then help promote that healing process using your own body's mechanisms to heal. I mean, that's been something that's pretty powerful, and there's no surgery, there's no downtime.
QC Kinetics natural treatments help the body heal and restore itself. No more rusty lawn chair.
It's no surprise to see people being willing to try this first, especially when it has such great results.
Pain relief the natural way. QC Kinetics. Call today for your complimentary consultation. Find out if you're a good candidate for treatment.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Oh, I get it. You're good at dodging baseballs. Like this.
Throw back to third. It goes over the head of the third baseman Davis and into left field. Taylor will score. Weimer gets to third.
The Brewers take on the Dodgers with coverage starting tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 8:03, 49 degrees, highs in the 50s today. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Eric Bilstead. Let's get right to the roads. Check in with Debbie Lasgo.
All right, Eric, eastbound 94, you're going to start to see some delays right around 76th Street through the Stadium interchange. Starts to let up around 35th Street. The westbound side slowing from 27th through the Stadium. Southbound 43 going to be slowing down Good Hope Road all the way down to about Hampton Avenue. And then just a couple of other pockets of heavy traffic heading in towards the Marquette. Northbound on 4394, just as you get out of the Plainfield curve, you'll see some delays. And they'll stretch up past Oklahoma Avenue. Westbound on 894, still going to be a little bit slow from just before Loomis all the way almost to Forest Home. So give yourself that extra time. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The search for suspects continues this morning in Fond du Lac. With those suspects involved in a triple shooting last night. TMJ4's Elaine Rojas Castillo is there.
Right now, police tell us that they're looking for 3 possible suspects who they say may have run off toward the fairgrounds after the shooting happened. Now, we told you that 1 woman did die in this shooting and 2 other victims, 2 men, are in critical condition. And this all happened here at Maplewood Commons, which is on Martin Avenue and East Pioneer Road. And that happened at about 7 o'clock last night.
In northwestern Wisconsin, tragedy. A sheriff's deputy in St. Croix County shot and killed in the line of duty. Katie Leising responding to a call of a suspected drunk driver in a ditch Saturday evening. This happened in the township of Glenwood. That driver refused sobriety test, later identified as Jeremiah Johnson, shot at Leising, striking her and later killing her. Johnson then took off running. He was found dead with a gunshot wound. This is the 4th Wisconsin law enforcement officer to die in the line of duty so far this year. In nearly a month to the day, 2 officers were killed in Barron County. In Texas, the FBI now involved in Allen, Texas, considering the possibility that a shopping mall shooter, Mauricio Garcia, held white supremacist views from over the weekend, searching for a motive. People who are at Allen Premium Outlets coming to grips with their brush of death there. Several people killed, others remain in the hospital there. Meanwhile, in Brownsville, Texas, they're still trying to determine the motive from a deadly car crash Sunday that killed 8 people and injured 9 others when that vehicle slammed into a group of migrants waiting at a local bus stop. This comes as the feds and state authorities in Texas and in other border states prepare this week for a potential surge in migrants entering the U.S. from the border in the coming days.
On Thursday, Title 42 ends, the Trump-era health policy that allows authorities to immediately deport most migrants. When it ends, tens of thousands currently waiting in Mexico can apply for asylum. No one knows for sure by how much or even if migrant crossings will jump after Thursday.
ABC's Matt Rivers. Sports, traffic, and weather next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:06.
Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
James Imaging Systems, Milwaukee, number 23R-5-2. Colaseri, trusted partnership. Gabe Colasari is the IT manager at RJ Schinner, the redistribution specialist. Gabe, RJ Schinner is a Wisconsin-headquartered company, just like James Imaging Systems.
Yes, we're also nationwide, so we're able to get support at all our other locations that we have with partners that they've partnered with.
Simply put, Gabe, you can trust James Imaging Systems here, there, or just about anywhere.
Yep, they're the imaging professionals. It's something that we don't have to worry about, so yeah, we want that trusted partnership.
James Imaging Systems, Toshiba copier printers, managed print services, document management software.
It's a one-stop shop. We have other projects we're going to be working with James Imaging on besides just printers.
Start your trusted partnership with James Imaging Systems today, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed office technology company. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
CPAP is one option that can be used to keep the throat open at night. It can work. There are other ways of keeping that airway open other than the machine. Another option that most people have never heard of is an oral appliance. An oral appliance is like a retainer that you wear when you're sleeping at night. It's super slim, slides in your mouth, and what it does is it helps to keep your airway open. That's exactly what a CPAP machine does. Most people who are good candidates for a CPAP machine to treat their sleep apnea are also good candidates for an oral appliance. Most of those people never get offered an oral appliance. Advent has decided to change the practice of medicine in this country by offering oral appliances to our patients. And what that means is we are allowing our patients to have the choice of a CPAP machine or oral appliance when they have sleep apnea, and that's a big deal.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventNows.com.
It has been 8 days since the Milwaukee Brewers last won a baseball game, and thanks to some timely hitting and a home run number 100 from Willie Adames, the Brew Crew got back in the win column Sunday afternoon as they defeat the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 7-3. The Brewers do conclude their 6-game road trip, going 1-5, and they are back at it tonight to host the Los Angeles Dodgers in Milwaukee. First pitch is all set for 6:40. Freddie Peralta is slated to get the start. The NBA playoffs resumed on Sunday as both the Philadelphia 76ers and Phoenix Suns even things up in their respective series at 2 games apiece. Round 2 tips back off tonight with the Knicks and Miami at 6:30, followed by the Lakers and Warriors at 9 p.m. I'm Brandon Stein, WTMJ Sports.
We're still seeing some delays along eastbound 94, stretching in from about 76th Street through the Stadium interchange. Right now, it's about 10 minutes from the zoo into downtown. We also have some backups along southbound 43. 15-minute ride there for you from Brown Deer Road into downtown. And that's mainly going to be from about Bender Road down past Hampton Avenue. Northbound on 41, going to be backing up from about Blue Mound Road up to Swan Boulevard from the zoo to Highway Q. Just about a 15-minute ride, an extra minute or so. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
Be our eyes on the roads. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast, some patchy fog at times, rainy at times, cloudy, breezy, a high of 50 today. Tonight, cloudy, a low of 45. For your Tuesday, more sun, a high of 73 inland. Wednesday, sunny, a high of 75. Thursday, sunny, a high of 78. Friday, some rain in the forecast and a high of 70 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's 52. Green Bay, 50. Waukesha, 50. Milwaukee, 48 degrees. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:10.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's your host, Vince Vitrano.
Yes, sir! Coming up in 11 minutes after 8 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Great to be with you here on this Monday morning. And I'm going to start with a heavy topic today, Eric. I want to talk about the dueling tragedies in Texas. In total, between the two, at least 16 people dead, many more still left injured, possibly in some cases fighting for their lives still this morning in hospitals. And don't hang up. Don't hang up. And I say that with great respect because can I just be completely honest with you for a moment? I don't want to talk about it. a million other things I would rather open the week discussing here in this 8 o'clock hour on Wisconsin's Morning News. I love having fun with you all. I love when people text in funny stuff, or when we're just talking about an interesting workplace issue or things like that. I would so much rather be talking about all of those other things. I'm exhausted, just exhausted from whether it be the mass shooting, whether it be the situation where you had a person run down a bunch of people at a bus stop. And both of these cases bring out the familiar refrains of gun control, of possible hate crimes, of immigration. Are we doing enough? Are we not doing what we should be at the border? All of these things that are uncomfortable and sad and not fun to talk about. So give me a minute. I got you, because I bet you're probably in that space. And I know people tell us sometimes I just turn it off. Don't turn it off. We're going to work through a few things. We want to bring you up to date on the latest facts and information that we know this morning. I want to talk through a couple of interesting sort of tangential issues to this. And then we do also have some fun things planned for this hour. But my takeaways, just sort of things that I'm interested in based on these two stories in Texas. And I'll back up and I'll give you those facts, but let me tease it this way. One question I had this morning after we talked with ABC's Jim Ryan in Dallas, and he's covering specifically the shooting there, but also touched on what happened in Brownsville, Texas, is can you be a white supremacist if you're not a white person? And it's an important question because they're looking at motivations for both the Texas shooter and a person who ran over the people in Brownsville, Texas. And in both cases, there are questions about that person's identity, their heritage, their names, what kind, who they are in terms of their ethnicity. And so I raised that question, and I'll back up and talk about why that is. The other thing that I'm looking at here is, can we wait a minute before we jump on social media and almost express sort of, I feel like there are people who are happy that we have dead people in these tragedies because yippee yay, I get to go on social media and be righteous because it backs up my personal political view, and I now get to use this as another way to be on the right side of this story and bark all sorts of terrible things on social.
Can I challenge you on that, though? Could that be just people frustrated at people dying
Sure.
all the time?
There is that.
Because
sure.
they're dying all the time.
And I guess my point is, there are, before we even have from investigators exactly what happened, everybody's out with, you can clearly see this or you can clearly
Sure.
tell that, and you can't. You don't know. So that's my point is, if there's a conversation to be had about it, I almost get this sense of glee from some folks is like, yes, now I get to make my political points because something awful has happened without enough conversation about the human tragedy that unfolded. And then the third question is, that said, what about the gun control debate?
And why does it have to be a political debate? That just irritates me, that everything has to be red and blue. Why can't we as a country try to effing do something?
And it's immediately red and blue. And maybe that's just in that social media echo chamber.
I think you're right. I think some of that just gets caught. That's where that divisiveness that social media loves to have.
And maybe more of us want to
that.
actually have a conversation about it
And
with open views.
I kind of believe that, just given some of the polls that we've seen. I want to believe that there is an interest in trying to figure it out.
Got some interesting polling data on that last point, but let's go ahead and backfill for those of you who might just be getting into the news cycle this morning. These terrifying, tragic national news stories out of Texas. You had the mass shooting at the outlet mall, left 8 people dead in Allen, Texas. That's the latest number that we have this morning. Others are injured, and so sadly that death toll could rise, but that's what we know right now. More on that one in a moment. Let's start with the more recent tragedy, though. 8 people dead, others still hospitalized after that driver plowed through a crowded bus stop in the Texas border town of Brownsville.
Candles and flowers mark the spot where an SUV hit and killed 8 people at a bus stop in Brownsville, Texas, as authorities investigate whether the crash was an accident or intentional. Some of the victims were migrants who had just left a shelter that helps the homeless and people who cross the border. A witness says the driver was yelling insults before accelerating towards the group.
So you did hear, that's ABC's Lindsay Watts. You did hear her say authorities are still working through the motive in this case. All kinds of social media reports yesterday saying the police department of Brownsville said this was an intentional act. That has not yet been determined. Police spokesman Martin Sandoval went on KRGV TV and said this.
Now, I know there is a report out there that they're saying that
it was intentional, that Brownsville Police is saying that this was an intentional accident. Well, I'm here to clarify that Brownsville Police has never taken the stand that it was an intentional accident. It is a factor that we have to look at.
So it doesn't mean it wasn't intentional. It just meant, like, this is hours after. Can everybody put the brakes on? Do we need to know today, right now, so that we can get on social media and be on the right side of this? Like, let the investigators do their work. They'll put out the report. They have to consider all factors. There are tons of witnesses in this. You have victims who may be able to also shed some light on it, those who survived. You have the interrogation of the driver, like so much information that needs to be collected. And yet hours after, everyone's waiting for, tell me if he did this on purpose. As for that driver, Lindsay Watts here again from ABC News, what we know about the guy who was behind the wheel.
The driver, identified by police as a Hispanic man, was taken to the hospital for treatment. Authorities are looking into whether alcohol played a factor, describing the man as very uncooperative, charging him with reckless driving.
So that's Brownsville, Texas, then on Sunday. Interesting, and to my first point of what's curious about this, for those who were anxious to right away say it did it on purpose, it's a white supremacist who doesn't like illegal immigration and was upset about it, the individual behind the wheel is identified as himself Hispanic. Now, that doesn't mean that person can't have hate in his heart or for non-racial reasons is upset about how immigration is playing out at the border. But it just adds yet another wrinkle to that story and makes it not quite so simple to explain. Let's get into Allen, Texas, then. This was Saturday. You have the outlet mall there. It was full of shoppers. A gunman starts taking people out with a semi-automatic rifle. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
It didn't appear that he was targeting anybody. It just seemed to be random shots fired into the people that he saw there in front of him. The police officer who happened to be there at the Allen Premium Outlets was responding to a different call, something unrelated, heard the gunshots, responded, and took down this shooter. And again, this being the Saturday before Mother's Day weekend, the place was absolutely packed.
So you heard an officer took out the gunman. He is dead. ABC's Jim Ryan, again, who we spoke with from Dallas on what we know about a possible motive.
We now know this person was Mauricio Garcia, a 33-year-old who lives somewhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, was in the Army. He was removed in 2008 because of mental health concerns. He had a tactical vest on. He was armed with a rifle and some kind of a handgun. FBI agents who have examined the weapons found insignia indicating a right-wing extremist ideology. They're looking not just at the crime itself, but also at the social media footprint of Garcia, trying to learn something about the motivation for the killing.
So we did ask Jim Ryan about this because you hear him identify Mauricio Garcia as the gunman, but then they're also talking about white supremacy and these far right-wing extremist views that associate with that. So having not myself seen a picture of the gunman, nor knowing much more about him, I did ask Jim this morning. I said, Jim, and it's a sensitive question. So being sensitive about asking this question, the last name Garcia here, you generally would associate with someone who's Hispanic in origin. And Jim said, I've seen a picture of him. He said, I guess, you could say he looks Hispanic. You have that last name. But he also added, in Texas,
everyone has that last name.
Right, Garcia may not be exclusive to someone of Hispanic or Latino origin. So there's that question out there. And regardless, it still goes back to the point. Can someone not get corrupted on social media or reading the wrong stuff or being around the wrong people and still be somehow associating himself with white supremacy ideology and not himself be a white guy?
I think very easily, depending on what it is you're reading or what rabbit hole you fall into, sure. I don't think there's anything that says you can't.
Or also, here's a guy who had mental health issues.
Yeah, right. And that
might
was
have
the issue with the
nothing
Army.
to do with the racial component.
That's a good point.
Whatsoever, might just have gone nuts, snapped, and started shooting people.
Right.
So that then leads us to, the third rail of American conversations these days, this and abortion, is immediately it's the gun control conversation. And I have dueling emotions about this because on the one hand, I'm exhausted of it. We never seem to get anywhere with it. So why do we, the day after or 2 days after these things, go automatically right into what are we going to do about the guns and then get the same answers? On the flip side, how do we not? Right? Because it does keep happening. It is a problem. People are dead again. A person who shouldn't have had a firearm of this magnitude was out there blasting people, including children. In a parking lot. And before we divide in our political camps, I mean, look, it's a parking lot in suburban Dallas, Texas. You don't think some right-wingers were gunned down in there? Some people who have right-of-center political views who are the victims of this crazy person? So is it worth continuing to have that conversation? I have some interesting polling data on where Americans stand on the gun control debate from a source you might not expect. That part is next on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We are looking a lot better now. Just a little bit of a backup coming out of the stadium interchange on 94 eastbound. A little slow on the northbound side of 41 from about Blue Mound Road up past Watertown Plank Road. We've also got southbound 43, just a quick tap of the brakes past the Silver Spring area through that construction zone. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
They say baseball's a numbers game.
I really struggled with math.
Well, let's keep it simple.
Throw me some numbers.
Start with a hot brat and a cold brew. At Brewers Baseball on WTMJ.
Swing and a drive to right and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Go!
And repeat the formula all season long.
Oh, baby.
We are the home of your Milwaukee Brewers. WTMJ.
It's Vince Vitrano here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Finally got to get on the patio a little bit yesterday. I almost took a video of it, Eric.
It was that great, huh?
No, what I almost took a video of is that my messed up patio door that I keep telling you about.
Oh.
It's hard to open.
Yanking on it.
Doesn't roll nice, anything like that. That's why I should have done it a long time ago because it's literally bothered me for years. Don't let that happen at your house. Finally got Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin inside my house. Alex Della was my guy. We went through a whole bunch of different options. Going to get a brand new rolling patio door
There you go.
for the exit to my favorite outdoor space in my house, the patio. It's coming soon, and their experts can help you choose the perfect products that they can customize then to visit any size or decor. If you've been putting it off like I did, don't do that anymore because they got a great deal going. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin right now offering 0% interest on financing for up to 48 months. The offer is good through May 31st. Certain restrictions do apply. Visit the beautiful showroom if you want to go out and see how these things look and function in person, or shop online anytime at PellaWI.com.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Your pain is likely due to a wear and tear process called osteoarthritis. Now, when you combine that with being a little overweight or not being as active as you'd like to be, you get into a downward pain spiral. At Rejuvenex, we control pain by precisely targeting and treating the areas where your pain lives, like shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, with our powerful FDA-approved treatments that cushion and lubricate the affected areas to deliver long-lasting pain relief. Now, like maintenance on a car, to maintain your relief, our team of physicians will follow up with you roughly every 6 to 18 months. My name is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics. Rejuvenex is in network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief. Really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
8:25 on Wisconsin's Morning News this Monday morning, talking about the dueling tragedies in Texas, Brownsville and Allen, Texas, which is, what did Jim tell us this morning, about 25 miles north of Dallas?
Yeah, affluent neighborhood.
100,000 people in that suburb.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that Dallas-Fort Worth area is just blown up over the years. And you had a person with a semi-automatic rifle who started gunning people down in a parking lot there. And we've been talking about immediately the conversation goes to gun control. I find that both simultaneously exhausting, but also because there's never any progress on the issue, also maybe exactly what needs to happen. And I know folks are deeply committed to their ideology on this. I'm sort of in the middle on it, in that I don't have a horse in the race, so to speak. I'm not a gun owner. I don't want to be a gun owner, so I probably won't do that. I have family members. I mean, my grandfather was like a gun club guy. He had handguns. He had all kinds of stuff. Like, he was a sports shooter. I have hunters in my family, so I have friends who have ARs. I believe them to be responsible gun owners, and I'm in no hurry to take those away from them. So I'm kind of like personally agnostic in terms of how it will affect me, but it's a conversation that we need to have, I think.
Yeah.
And we just don't go anywhere.
That
with it.
idea of taking guns away, I just don't see that happening. But you wonder if something else could be done.
So let me just share with this share with you this polling data from early 2023. So this is this year, and the source is a Fox News poll. So lest there be any consternation about how the poll may have been skewed to get certain results that would skew left or whatever, it's a poll from Fox News, and they were asking about various proposals that are out there in terms of gun control. 87% of voters in the Fox News poll said they support requiring criminal background checks for all gun buyers. So right now we have that if you go to the store and buy a gun here in Wisconsin. But what you don't have is background checks for, I want to sell a gun to Eric, I don't have to run a background check on him.
Sure.
And vice versa. And when you hear universal background checks, I believe that would apply to sales like that. I think gun shows regulation is a little bit different. I'm not positive how they do all that. If folks want to text in and enlighten us on that. But anyway, 87% of voters in the Fox News poll said that they required supporting criminal background checks for all gun buyers. 77% said they support requiring a 30-day waiting period for all gun purchases. A friend of ours was just telling us the other day he went and bought, was that the AR that he was talking about?
Yes.
So he went to a store. I don't want to name the store, and I'm not going to name the person, but friend of ours said, yeah, I went to the store. I waited 1 hour. I never even had to leave the store, and I walked out with an AR, passed the background check. Vast majorities also support raising the legal age to buy guns to 21, that at 81% in a Fox News poll, and requiring mental health checks for all gun purchasers, that at 80%. 80% of voters say police should be allowed to take guns away from people considered a danger to themselves or others. My caution on that is who gets to decide. And what's the process that we decide who's a danger?
I think that, and they've
is it
run
someone
into
the
that issue,
sheriff
right?
doesn't like? That's a problem.
Right. It'd have to be something through the courts, most likely, right? And someone would have to file that saying, hey, this guy or gal's a danger.
So for those who get a little bit skittish about that one, I hear your concern on that. Who gets to decide who's a danger? Who gets to decide who gets guns taken away? 61% of voters in the Fox News poll support banning assault rifles and semi-automatic weapons. So you have majorities in all of those categories, yet, extremes on both sides unwilling to meet somewhere. You mentioned about taking guns away. When we listen to Jeff Wagner speak on the issue here on WTMJ, Jeff's position, I don't want to not identify it correctly, but basically he said taking guns away is a different conversation than banning the future sale of guns.
Right.
So if you were to back a assault rifles ban, you might say no more new sales of AKs or AK styles or AR-15s, but to say that the federal government is going to start knocking on doors and taking guns out of people's safes, it's just flat not practical.
Right. You know how difficult that would be on so many different levels.
Right. And if I could support a conservative view on that, if you were to give on that and say, okay, fine, assault weapons ban, no more future sales, but then what you need to do then is ramp up mandatory minimums for people who are caught using these weapons in crimes. And I'm not talking about just mass shootings. How many people get arrested here or are involved in gun crimes, and they aren't even charged with the gun enhancer that could go with it? That gets kicked in some sort of plea deal or something like that. If you wanted to placate a more conservative crowd, could you offer something like, okay, but then you get caught using some sort of weapon in a crime, you can't throw that out, you can't dismiss that, you can't plea it down, and there's a mandatory minimum that you're going away for it. But can we meet and start talking about that? Right now it appears we can't. 8:30 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Uh-oh.
Don't get caught in the worst of Wisconsin. Listen to severe weather coverage on WTMJ, presented by Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
Providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin is more than a statistic. It means offering you more options. It means more hope. And having expertise for every type of cancer is more than a checklist. It's how we're able to create a personalized treatment plan to help conquer your individual cancer. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, people are the driving force behind providing the most advanced, most powerful cancer care available. Our clinical excellence has led to incredible breakthroughs, like using a person's own genes to successfully treat cancer. And by offering an adaptive therapy that combines an MRI scanner with leading-edge technology, we're able to deliver ultra-precise radiation therapy that adapts to your cancer's changes. We push further, learn more, and lead the way. That's how we do everything humanly possible for life without cancer. To find out how dedication fuels breakthrough cancer care, visit freighter.com/cancer.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert back to report even more home buyers paid over the asking price last month, rising to 50% in the 5-county metro area. 3 out of 10 paid $10,000 or more above that list price. The good news is appraised values are generally keeping up with the over-asking offers. Still, the most powerful thing a buyer can do to make their offer the most attractive in a multiple offer situation is to give the seller some appraisal wiggle room. Telling the seller you're willing to pay over the asking price, even if the house appraises lower, sounds scary because most buyers think they have to fill that potential gap with more down payment. But in the vast majority of cases, AccuNet is showing home buyers how they can offer appraisal wiggle room without bringing a nickel more to closing. Appraisal wiggle room is like a good card trick. You need to see it to believe it. So if you're home shopping with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, upgrade today to an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
8:32 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Let's get the bottom of the hour headlines here from the WTMJ Breaking News Center with Eric.
Triple shooting in Fond du Lac overnight or late Sunday. 3 suspects remain on the run as they continue to search for suspects in that case. Meanwhile, in northwestern Wisconsin, tragedy there. A sheriff's deputy in St. Croix County shot and killed over the weekend. Her name, Katie Lysing, a deputy there, responding to a call of a suspected drunk driver in a ditch Saturday evening in Glenwood, Wisconsin. That suspect, later identified as Jeremiah Johnson, shot and killed Lysing before he took his own life. Time now for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Looking at the numbers right now, the Dow is going to start down 3, the NASDAQ starting down 8, and the S&P starting up 1 as they just get underway on Wall Street. News about your money. Annex Wealth Management. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. Hi, Debbie.
Hey there. We're looking actually pretty good right now. No more delays around the area. We're pretty much cleared out. And no real incidents up on the board either. So we are actually in pretty good shape for this morning. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Traffic is sponsored by Evans Transportation Services. Thank heavens for Evans. Rely on one company for accounting, shipping, and tracking. Evans Transportation Services. Family owned for 40 years and continuing to grow. Evans Transportation Services in Brookfield.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Patchy fog, rainy, cloudy, breezy, a little bit of everything. Watching the rain right now, which is slowly starting to creep into portions of southeast Wisconsin. A high of 50 today. Tonight, cloudy, a low of 45. Tuesday, nice one, sunny, a high of 73 inland. Wednesday, a high of 75. Thursday, a high of 78. Friday, a high of 70 with rain in the forecast on Friday. Right now in Milwaukee, 48. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:35.
Live life to the fullest. Hey, you hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain, right? Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. QC Kinetics gives people all around Milwaukee their quality of life by providing much-needed relief for chronic joint pain, and not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible, using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. So where is your joint pain? In your knees, your hips, shoulders, maybe your back? Well, QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them the most. No surgery, no downtime, no steroids or harmful drugs. And patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Well, finally being able to exercise or walk the dog, maybe enjoying time with the family, or just working your job. Whatever it is, don't wait another day. Call QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Give them a call. 414-285-3474.
And now, time for the Matzik Morning Minute. Take it away, Greg Matzik.
The Milwaukee Brewers snap a 6-game losing streak with a 7-3 Sunday afternoon win over the Giants in San Francisco. In his first start of the season, Adrian Hauser allows 2 earned runs over 4 2/3 innings. A couple home runs for the Brewers. William Contreras in the second and Willie Adames in the fifth.
Here's the 1-1. And Adames, a high fly ball. Deep left field. Back. Track. Bye-bye baseball. Willie Adames with career home run number 100.
The team returns home for a 6-game homestand beginning tonight against the Dodgers. Coverage gets underway at 6:05 on WTMJ. The NFL schedule is expected to be revealed on May 11th. The Packers wrapping up their rookie minicamp over the weekend. Head coach Matt LaFleur will preside over organized team activities later this month. Block 1 begins May 22nd. And in the NBA, the 76ers and Celtics series is tied at 2 games apiece after Philly pulls off an overtime win. Nuggets and Suns also tied at 2. In golf, Wyndham Clark wins the Wells Fargo Championship.
Matzik Morning Minutes is sponsored by Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. It's worth the trip.
Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac. It's where to get more Mazda for your money, more for your trade, and enjoy more choices now during the Memorial Day sales event. Drive Holiday and experience the genuine care of Wisconsin's only Mazda President's Club Award winner, the Badger State's #1 Mazda dealer, and its #1 Mazda certified pre-owned dealer. Accolades are per 2022 Mazda North American Operations Zone Sales Records. Holiday Mazda, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, or at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
Give future generations a connection to their past by securing cemetery property today. Now is always the best time to buy cemetery property because purchasing today is your best protection against rising prices and limited inventory. Whether you choose burial or cremation, we have options for every belief at any budget. Speak with us today about available financing and pricing options. We're Forest Hill Memorial Park. Find us at dignitymemorial.com.
3301 East Forest Hill Avenue, Oak Creek, Wisconsin, 53154.
8:38 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Great story I want to share with you about a friend of the program. Good things happen to you, Eric, when you're labeled a friend of the program.
All right.
Telling you, this is a trend.
Milwaukee Admirals is a friend of the program.
He is indeed. Milwaukee Admirals advanced this weekend. They're on to the next round of the Calder Cup playoffs. They had a thrilling, literally last-second victory. I think there were 5-6 seconds left on the clock after the Admirals scored the winning goal Saturday night. This is UWM Panther Arena in a moment filled with Wisconsin's Morning News vibes.
The Admirals 2-on-1. Sanford, right circle. Backhand. Score! Spencer Stasny! Spencer Stasny scores with 26.8 to go. Spencer Stasny in his hometown.
AHL TV with the call. Admirals win 2-1. With that goal, advance to the Calder Cup playoff divisional finals. I think they're in the division finals round. In his hometown, he said, because Spencer Stasny grew up in Mequon. Family all still here. They've been going to see him this season since he joined the Admirals in the Nashville Predators farm system, okay? And we actually had him share a little bit of his story with us. He was a guest on Wisconsin's Morning News back in February.
I'm just enjoying every day here, and it's awesome being back home. So I'm enjoying everything. The group is awesome, the team, and I just love being in Wisconsin.
So, I mean, the karma wasn't instant. Like, that day he didn't go out and have a hat trick. But, I mean,
it did happen.
Give it a minute to ferment, you know?
I think that's awesome. See, good things come to those who jump on the show with us.
Yeah, he seemed like a super great guy. He actually, along with the president of the Admirals, John Greenberg, they were here in studio, so I got a chance to catch up with him a little bit. We were talking about things on the ice and off, but he was just super excited. You know, the hard thing for a guy like that is the whole goal is to advance to the NHL, right? And he's in a position of needing to get out of Milwaukee to do that. Yet right now he's just really super enjoying playing here in his hometown. Went to Admirals games as a kid, growing up in Mequon, and so he's a great story. I did ask him, I'm like, how long do you think you're going to be around here? You know, and he's like, I'm not on that. Like, I'm going to come out here. I'm going to try to play.
Say, I want to be gone in a
I
week.
should be gone in a few weeks. I'm really good at hockey. You should come see me. I'm pretty awesome. No, I mean, it's like any of the guys in the program. If they're happy there with the Admirals, and, of course, he's super happy to be able to play in front of his family. He said a lot of friends that he hadn't heard from in a long time had been reaching out, probably asking for tickets.
Of course, why not?
Hey.
Well, the one thing we have evidence We have quantitative evidence that indicates that if you come on the program, good things happen.
There's a rub-off?
There is.
Yeah.
We'll have to share some of that later this week.
Yeah, who else? I mean, well, let's start with there were the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Awards this weekend.
Yep.
Dr. Ken Harris, who comes on Wednesdays now with us.
Yep.
He won what? Did he win Best Radio Show?
Yeah, Best Afternoon Radio Show.
So he won. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy won Best Radio Morning Show.
Yep. Jen is on every week, so is Gabe.
Gabe on every week. So I'm claiming that. They could have just given the award to this show.
Right. We're happy to help them.
How about that? 3 people who were on this show won awards for their respective work, but we didn't win.
Right. Oh, well.
Guess it can't rub off on us. We're just so busy handing out the karma.
Yes.
We're just dishing it out in wheelbarrows.
So if we come calling, asking for you to join the program.
Yeah. You, too, can become a legend in your own right. The hometown kid doing good for the Admirals. I'll mention, too, Ads Advance, they have home ice Friday and Saturday as they open their season, open their next series against the Texas Stars.
Score! Spencer Stastny! Spencer Stastny scores!
So I got on the phone and I called Sean Wendt.
Yep. And we wind things down nicely. Everything seems to be cleared up around the area. No major delays, and our travel times are looking nice and clear. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Sister Bay Furniture. Now it's time we could talk about the furniture, Eric. Once I got through my broke patio door, which is being fixed by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Not fixed, replaced. Sister Bay Furniture, I got a beautiful couple of chairs out there and a little table that goes in between. Brand new this year. Ran in the house. I was mowing the lawn, doing some yard work. I said to the kids, "Where's Mom?" She's like, "She's on the patio."
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is.
Enjoying that beautiful new Sister Bay Furniture. And no worries whatsoever about the weather having turned now and me having to drag the furniture back inside. Or I did get a question on social media, like, it doesn't look cushiony enough because it doesn't. These particular chairs didn't have big old cushions.
Okay.
You don't need it. It was completely comfortable, and then you don't have things that you're into the garage and out with the garage. I need cushions. These pieces of furniture are very comfortable, and they just fit your body just right. So, and I know this because I finally got a little bit of time to sit out there. But again, we always push the fact that these are built in Wisconsin, built for Wisconsin. They understand Wisconsin weather, and Sister Bay designs and builds this patio furniture so it can survive Wisconsin weather. You don't need to take it in and out anytime it rains or hails or whatever. And you can customize your Sister Bay furniture set by picking from different styles, a whole bunch of different colors to fit your unique outdoor space. You want to splash a color? They've got that. If you want to keep it a little bit more neutral, they have beautiful colors and tones to affect that sort of decor as well. And you're not going to wait till your next beautiful day this year. We got temperatures in the 70s here. Time to get out to the showroom today. You can go visit them in Sussex on Executive Drive, or you visit the website sisterbayfurniture.com to shop the entire selection. Sister Bay Furniture, built in Wisconsin, built for Wisconsin.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. There are over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Hurt by a truck? Call Gruberg Offices. One call, that's all.
James Imaging Systems, Milwaukee, number 23R-5-2. Colaseri, trusted partnership. Gabe Colaseri is the IT manager at R.J. Schinner. the redistribution specialist. Gabe, R.J. Schinner is a Wisconsin-headquartered company, just like James Imaging Systems.
Yes, we're also nationwide, so we're able to get support at all our other locations that we have with partners that they've partnered with.
Simply put, Gabe, you can trust James Imaging Systems here, there, or just about anywhere.
Yep, they're the imaging professionals. That's something that we don't have to worry about. So, yeah, we want that trusted partnership.
James Imaging Systems, Toshiba copier printers, managed print services, document management software.
It's a one-stop shop. We have other projects we're going to be working with James Imaging on besides just printers.
Start your trusted partnership with James Imaging Systems today, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed office technology company. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
.847 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Can we squeeze one more day out of this?
Well, there was a lot of it that happened over the weekend.
All right, then most appropriate for us to do so.
All kinds of pomp and pageantry.
Pomp and pageantry.
Yeah, they had some.
Pomp.
All right, so that's Katy Perry performing at the coronation concert. So as she was performing the coronation concert, the king and queen sitting on coronation chairs, sipping coronation cocktails, holding coronation scepters.
Court?
Holding coronation court, yeah. So this is now the finale. So they're done now. Now it's time to go to work and do things. But it was a big weekend.
Or not, because I'm the king.
Yeah,
Do
well,
whatever
right.
I want.
So they had a big, actually it was pretty impressive. This giant venue at grounds of Windsor Castle. They had thousands of people on hand there for this big event. Many of them nurses and healthcare workers and others that all were there to celebrate. Prince William spoke at the announcement or at the thing, and he thanked those folks.
We are all so proud of you. And I also want to express my pride and gratitude for the millions of people who serve in the forces, in classrooms, hospital wards, and local communities.
And at the libraries, and at the stores, so basically everybody.
Yes, everyone who's a commoner. You
Yes.
commoners, we celebrate you as well.
So a busy
we invite you
weekend.
to our party.
There are a lot of people that really weren't that interested, though.
I just think the monarchy is really outdated. It's colonialist. It really doesn't represent British values to me, you know.
Yeah, the $125 million it costs to put on the events. This isn't for everybody in the UK.
Hey, well, we're voting for ours over here, and nobody likes them either. So I don't, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
So I thought it was really interesting, though. I did not watch it live. I know Debbie got up and watched the Queen get coronated. What I noticed with the King being coronated is that the Archbishop came down and held the crown down to his head. Had to squeeze it in there. It was tough to get that
Can
out.
Jimmy it on there?
That's how it
Yeah,
sounded.
you got to jiggle it.
But he said that it looked like he was actually emotionally spent. I really do think.
I agree with you.
The
Based
king
on
was exhausted and just emotional at this moment that he's been training for all his life.
Say what you want about the relevance of the modern day monarchy, but the history of it, the weight of that history in that moment must have affected it.
So there are tons of people there. You remember how I was telling you about during the MTV Movie Awards? Tom Cruise won an award and he was in a plane and they show him flying. That's how he thanked MTV for the award. Well, Tom Cruise also in a plane giving kudos to the King and Queen.
Pilot, Your Majesty, you can be my wingman anytime.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
And Charles responded, I'm sorry, you can be mine.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, here's what was...
All right, Tom Cruise.
Here's the thing that was a little cringy is that since Lionel Richie and Katy Perry are of American Idol fame, by the way, that's their most recent project, they were both singing at this big coronation concert.
Yeah, he did All Night Long, right?
Yeah, and I'll bring that to you here in a sec.
Please.
But they also had him on American Idol. And it was just so awkward last night.
The King?
Yes.
Why was he on American Idol?
I don't know, maybe because...
He's the opposite of American Idol.
Well, maybe he's trying to...
He's the British monarch.
Maybe he wants to curry favor with the American populace. I don't know. It was
First
just,
of all, again, why? Yes, awful.
It didn't need to
Do you
happen.
have some?
No, I don't. You don't need to hear it.
I don't actually.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah.
Yes,
Like
very
that.
well. Yes,
He tells a couple of jokes that don't land, and
well, you all certainly got the music thing right. All right, very well.
Yes, that's
Your contest
basically it.
that you ripped off from us.
So that was it. The coronation is now over. He's now officially king. More people watched his coronation than the wedding of Harry and Meghan, but less people watched the coronation than the funeral of Queen Elizabeth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And that's all I have to say about that.
Oh, you want to hear Lionel, all right? You
Yeah.
want to wrap it up with a
Where's
little
my-
Lionel? Okay, we can do that. Here you go.
Come on and sing it along, everybody. It's your turn to sing.
WTMJ's Steve Scafidi.
But you see what they've done here. It's more of the social justice crusade impacting how school education